we doing, folks? Good morning. Coming at you from the airways as I do each and every morning, except for Saturday, right? I'm sorry, except for Sunday. How's everybody doing? My name's Kelley, your certified holistic nutritionist, coming to you straight from the airways of Houston, Texas. Man, you know what we talk about. We talk about all things diabetes, all things insulin resistance, all things we can talk about weight loss. We can talk about a whole bunch of different things, but we talk about we specialize in diabetes and we specialize in lifestyle first. So lifestyle first, medication second. Are we against medication? No. I think medication is very, very, very important if you need it. That's the key word. If you need it, right? But most of the time, it's not needed, right? It's not needed most of the time because most of the time we choose to take the easy way out. We as human beings are hardwired to take the easy way out, to choose the path of least resistance. So if we think that it's the medication that's going to get us where we need to go and that's the easiest route, that's the way we're going to choose, right? But it's not the only way. It's not the only way. And all it's doing is putting a temporary fix on your permanent issue. Your permanent issue, if you don't really address it, it's going to be permanent. It's just going to be a temporary fix for a permanent issue. So that's what we're going to uncover today. We're going to talk about how to get rid of the temporary fix and how to make it a real fix through the power of your lifestyle. So how's everybody doing? My name is Kelley, your certified holistic nutritionist, coming to you straight from the airwaves of Houston, Texas, folks. Got a couple of folks jumping into the room. Let's see where you're coming in from. See where the folks are from. Do me a favor, folks, tap in with me and let me know where you are from. True, it really is not needed. It's not needed. For most of the time, it's not needed. It's very, very, very important, man. It's super important. But yeah, you're right. Most of the time, it is not needed. If you're out and about and get into a car accident or something, and then the doctor's like, we need to give you this medication and we need to give it to you now. You know what I'm saying? To save your life. Man, take that medication. You better take that medication, right? But as time goes by, I just used a car accident, but it could be anything else, right? As time goes by, we need to switch that over. We need to switch that over from the temporary fix to what we were doing with the medication to now we are full-fledged jumping into our lifestyle because that's what it is. It's lifestyle medicine. Lifestyle first, medication second. Oh, Alabama, type 1 diabetic, no doubt. Baltimore, ooh, that's my old stomping grounds. I lived in Baltimore for 5 years. Shout out to Baltimore. I changed my diet and eating habits. Yep. Heard. And what happened? As a result of you changing your eating habits and your diet, what happened? We want to know what happened. Went from a 339 to a 208. Woo, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Man, a couple of folks joining us today. Do me a favor, tap in with me, folks, and let me know where you're from. My name's Kelley, your certified holistic nutritionist, coming to you straight from the airways of Houston, Texas. But I want to know where you're from, what city you're from, what country you're from, what state you're from. Right? Tap in with your boy and let me know where you're from. I want to shout it out. Right? My A1C went from an 8.9 to a 5.8. Man, and how long did it take? What was the process? Was it like a year? Was it months? Was it weeks? How long did the process take for you to go from an 8.9 to a 5.4? That's 3 points. To drop your A1C 3 percentage points, that's quite significant, right? New Jersey, man. Shout out to New Jersey. Shout out to New Jersey. Do me a favor, folks, and bebop that screen, double tap that screen, and share this live out with anybody that you know that's struggling with prediabetes, gestational diabetes, anything related to insulin resistance, prediabetes, like type 2 diabetes, right? High blood sugar. Send this live over there to him because we're gonna be here for about almost 4 hours today. We'll be here for about 4 hours. We'll be here till 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So we're 7:15-ish. We started about between 7 and 7:15 every day, except for Sunday, Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. through 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're here to talk about all things type 2 diabetes, all things insulin resistant. 2 years. Okay, great. 2 years it took you. Memphis, Tennessee, insulin dependent for 7, insulin type 1. All right. And insulin dependent since since 17 years old. Yeah, just dropped my A1C from a 14 to a 9, still struggling. I got you, Miss Nikki Poe. That's great, getting it from a 14 to a 9. Great. I'm gonna show you how to get that. I'm gonna show you how to get over that hump. Hang out with me today. We're gonna be on for 4 hours because people are always like, well, give me the quick fix. There is no quick fix, folks. There is no shortcuts to getting rid of diabetes. Because here's the thing: diabetes, well, I'm speaking differently in type 1. Type 1, of course, is an autoimmune condition, but so you can't that's you can improve it, you can become more insulin sensitive, but you can't get rid of it, unfortunately. But you can improve your insulin sensitivity, so you use less insulin. But for the type 2 diabetic, here's the thing about the type 2 diabetic. That is all diet and lifestyle related condition. It's one of the conditions that are diet and lifestyle related conditions. Yeah, are there some exceptions to the rule? We talk about medication, or we talk about medications. Yeah, there's some exceptions to the rules that taking some steroids could cause you to become insulin resistant over time, right? And therefore now you become a diabetic. But for the most part, you want to know where it comes from? It comes from diet and lifestyle. That's it. That's the only way that you're going to get rid of it. Everybody who's going to come on here and tell their story about how they got rid of diabetes and all of that stuff, the common denominator is going to be this. Was their diet and it was their lifestyle, right? So as a result, boom, just like she just said, her A1C went from a 14 to a 9. She had to change her diet and lifestyle. That was it. That's the only way you can avoid it for as long as you want, but it's just not going to work. The question is right off the rip. You're just joining us. I think you're just joining us. I got it. So is Mounjaro, the question, good for reversing type 2 diabetes? What's up, Cyrus? How's everybody doing? Shout out to you over there on LinkedIn, on all my other social networks. The question is Mounjaro good for reversing diabetes? I've had diabetes for type 2 for 25 years. Don't need insulin on Mounjaro. Here's the thing about Mounjaro. Like I just said before, diabetic medications aren't the only way. Mounjaro works like this. It works by artificially lowering your blood sugar. That's all it's doing. It's artificially lowering it. Right? Diabetes is real. It's real. High blood sugar, it's real. It's real. So when you lower it artificially using drugs, like I told you about before, drugs are what they're going to do is they're going to artificially lower it. And as a result, if you stop taking that medication, here's what's going to happen. It's going to come back. All the high blood sugar is going to come back. All the weight's going to come back. Everything's going to come back that you could possibly imagine. Is going to come back. And when it comes back, it's going to come back with a vengeance. So you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it by taking Mounjaro. You can't avoid it by taking Ozempic. You can't avoid the work. It's the work that we're going to have to do. And then that's what most people are like, Kelley, that I'm not going to do the work. So can I have some Mounjaro, or can I have this medication, or can I have that medication instead? You can, but again, it's just going to it's going to give you a temporary fix. And then again, it's lifestyle first, medication second. We cannot fix it with the diet and lifestyle. If you've exhausted everything that you can in your diet and lifestyle, it's a formula for lifestyle medicine. It's called peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. These are the 4 areas that we got to get right. So the thing about medication is you can take medication until you're blue in the face, literally blue in the face, like this pen, right? Look at this pen. You can take medication until you're blue, just like this, your face. It'll turn blue because that's how much medication you took. Or even from the Matrix. Remember the Matrix? When they did the blue pill and the red pill, you took the blue pill, you stayed inside of the Matrix, didn't you? What do you think about coming off of metformin? The question is, what do you think about coming off of it? That's a better question. What do you think about coming off of it? Here's the thing. You can take medication until you're blue in the face, because when the diet is wrong, medication is of no use. It isn't. When the diet is wrong, medication is of no use. But when the diet is correct, medication is of no need, right? That's it. That's a powerful, I want you to write that one down because it's so powerful. When the diet is wrong, medication, everybody's naming the metformins and the Mounjaros and all that stuff, it's of no use. Mounjaro's of no use, metformin's of no use if your diet and lifestyle is wrong. But when the diet and lifestyle is correct, Mounjaro, metformin, and all that stuff, it's of no need. How do I know that? Here's how do I know that? How do I know that? You're like, Kelley, you're just talking trash, bro. Like, where are you getting that from? Where are you getting that? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Kelley? You're talking a bunch of jibber jabber right now. Like, okay, got it. Here's the jibber. Here's what I mean when I say that. I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to show you my before pictures. What I didn't tell you before is, here's some of my before pictures. What I didn't tell you before is that I was a diabetic before. I had heart disease. Look at this. That's called diabetes right there. I'm going to wait till the alert goes away. That's called diabetes. That's called obesity. And that's called heart disease right there. You see that, folks? I'm doing it on both cameras. That's what that's called. Diabetes, that's called heart disease, and that's called obesity. Look at my hands. You see what my hands are? They're there for a reason. I'm very strategic on where I put my hands. Why? It's because it's called insecurity. This is in 2019, I took this picture. This was 2 weeks before my diagnosis. 2 weeks before my diagnosis, I took this picture. My diagnosis of what? Heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. All at the very same doctor's visit, by the way, that I got prescribed this. This has all happened to me. Look at this. Look at this. This is all from lifestyle medicine. I didn't touch any medication. The doctor prescribed it to me. And you're telling me now I don't have any, you're telling me now, here's the thing. If I go to the doctor right now, last picture I'm going to show you. Last picture. That's it. Look at how many inches I lost off my waist. All right, from that before picture to the after picture. I got prescribed the medication. Sure. The Mounjaros, I mean, not the Mounjaros, but what do you say? The metformin. I got prescribed that. Yeah. Yeah. But when I got prescribed it, you want to know what I did? I decided to, you know what? Instead of taking that, instead of taking the easy way out, instead of just surrendering, I wasn't going to surrender to diabetes. I wasn't going to do it. Like, you got the wrong person if you're talking about surrendering. I wasn't going to do that. You know what I mean? I'm not built that way to just give up. So when I got that diagnosis, I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my health so seriously. I'm going to focus so hard on what it is that I got to do. Peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. I'm going to change my whole lifestyle. And as a result, a year later, you saw the pictures. I'm just not making this stuff up. If a doctor looked at my blood work right now, he'd never know. He or she would never know that I was a diabetic, had heart disease, or obese. They'd never know unless they pull my records from 2019. If they pull my records from 2019, they'd know. But if they just pull if I'm a new client and I come in, a new patient, and I come in and they pull my blood work, they wouldn't know. They'd be like, you're healthy 47-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? You're a guy close to 50, you're healthy. Guy close to 50, you're healthy. Get out of here. That's all they say. That's all they say now when I go in. But I say all that to say that I didn't take the medication. So how do you explain me not having diabetes anymore? Can you explain that to me? How do you explain me not having heart disease anymore? Can you explain that to me? How do you explain me not being obese anymore? Can you explain that to me? I want to know. I really want to know. And you don't have to explain it to me, but I'm going to tell you what happened. I went on a mission to save my life. That's what I went on, because had I not changed, I wouldn't be here right now. It'd be somebody else on this live right here with their mic in the mic in front of them right now, telling you guys how to transform your life. It would be somebody else. It wouldn't be me, because I'd be in the dirt. That's where I'd be had I continued the pace that I was on. So folks, when I tell you it is true that it's your lifestyle first, medication second, if you need it. But most of the time, you don't need it. Here's what you need. You need to do the work. That's it. You need to do the work that is required to get rid of diabetes. That is what you need to do. That's as clear and as cut and as dry as I can get it. So a lot of people because I'm going crazy on medications today, but I'm not against medications. I think it's very, very important. I'm going to put that out there, caveat. If you need it, but most of the time you don't. You really don't. You just don't want to do the work. That's all it is. So let's get to these questions, folks. That's just a little bit about my story. So my story, and then now I'm gonna get to your story. We got some folks over here. Look at you. Appreciate you, Cyrus. Thank you, Cyrus. Got a couple of folks over here and in my other chat over here. We're live across the world. What is the work? The work is that's what we're gonna stick around. So stick around. Here's how my lives go. Number one is I introduce myself, which I just did. Number two is I'm gonna get to your questions. And then number three is we're going to talk about what diabetes is. And then we're going to get to the work, to understand the work. You got to understand what the hell you're fighting first. You got to understand what it is. And then I'm going to show you the work that you have to do. All right. It's a 4-hour live, but we covered that in the first hour. Okay. We covered what to do in the first hour. So stick out, hang out for at least an hour and I got you. And it's not a quick fix. People are like, well, is it a quick fix, Kelley? No, it's not a quick fix. That's why this is a 4-hour live every single day. All right. Every single day. That's why. Lifestyle is super important. All right. How bad is soda really? What do you think? You know how bad it is. It's terrible. You know how bad it is. You change what you're putting into your body. Amen. Yeah, you change you got to change the whole thing, Tamika. But that's what most people don't want to do. They don't want to change at all. See, here's what most people want. Most people want change, but they don't actually want to change. You know what I'm saying? They want the thing that they say that they want, but with that, they don't want to do the work. They're like, I know that it takes work to get off of the diabetes medications. I know that it takes work to reverse this whole thing. That's what I want. I want to do that. I want to get off of the meds, but I don't want to do the work. So that's why most people stay stuck. Most people stay stuck because they don't want to do the work. What's the work? Peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. This is the 4 areas that you got to get right. Peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, and effective sleep. Right? Yep. When the diet is wrong, that's it, Cyrus. When the diet is wrong, medication is of no use. But when the diet is correct, medication is of no need. That's it. That's it. Let's see. Any questions? Then we're going to start talking about A1C. Next, we're going to start talking about A1C, folks. We're going to get into it. We're going to break down diabetes, and then we're going to break down how to fix it. Those are the 2 parts. So stick around. I'm now diabetic. All right. Went from 360. How bad is soda? Really bad. Yeah. Went from 363 to 108 just by eating right. No shots, etc. Exactly. That's it. Just by eating right. That's it. You got to change your lifestyle. It was most people don't want to do that. They're not going to do that. That's the work that's required. The work that's required is to change your lifestyle in these areas: stress management, activity, eating, sleeping, substance abuse. And most people are like, I don't want to do that, bro. I don't want to do that. And as a result, years later, they're still suffering from diabetes. They still are. They're still suffering from the weight. They're like, hey, well, why isn't this Ozempic working? Why can't I lose the weight on Ozempic? It's because you avoided doing the work the whole time. Ozempic's not the work. It's just a temporary fix. I'm heading to the gym. Can't hang out, man. These things are all it's recorded everywhere. So you just go to anywhere and you can find the playback. You can find the replay, right? Anywhere. Go to just look me up. You're not gonna have a problem finding the replay anywhere. So all of the socials, right? It's very hard, but do understand. Yeah, it is very hard. And if it's hard, you got to do it hard. Who said that? Puncho, it is hard. That's why most people won't do it. But if it's hard, you got to do it hard. That's it. That's a mindset that you got to take. If it's hard, do it hard. All right. Be nice of there was places that teach you good habits instead of, yep, you're diabetic, do better. Yeah. That's what we're talking about the whole time, right? 4 hours. So I'm telling you to do better, but I'm also giving you the practical tools. This is why it's 4 hours. I'm going to give you the practical tools. Right? I had a 7.3. A1C is now a 9. I was at 365. Now it's a 308 in 6 months. I haven't used insulin. Okay, 7.3 to now a 9. Okay, that's great. Hello, I need a lot of help. I'm totally lost. Okay, Mo, for me, hang out because we're about to start talking about A1C right now. Do me a favor, folks, and put the word A1C in the chat. Put the word A1C in the chat. How do I get off metformin? By doing the work. Here we go. We're going to talk about the work right now. The work, you're going to have to do the work. That's it. You can't just pop the pills and magically hope it's going to go away. What about type 1 diabetes? Type 1 diabetes is, you can't get rid of type 1 diabetes, but here's what you can improve it drastically. You can improve it how insulin sensitive you are. You're in control of how insulin sensitive you are, not the diabetes. You are. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. So A1C, we're going to put it in the A1C. All right, here we go. A1C. Lift both of these cameras up. I got a couple of cameras over here. Got a couple of cameras. All right, give me a second to set up, and then we're going to talk all things A1C, folks. What the heck's an A1C? Most of the time, I talk to people on a daily basis about diabetes. Let's bring this up here. And most of the time, they don't know what it actually means. Type 2 diabetic, high pressure. Pressure is high at the moment. All right. A1C, yeah, I'm pretty strict with my type 1. Yeah. Here we go. Hemoglobin A1C. Let's see if we're all set up over here. And then we're going to get back to your questions. See if we can see it over here. We got 2 cameras. All right, I think we're good. All right, I think that's good. Yeah. Okay. Who's ever gone to the? This is what I see. Like, I go to the VA a lot. I go to the VA. I used to be in the military. So whenever I go to the VA, I see a lot of people in there that are struggling. And they're struggling. You see people with like amputees and all types of stuff, like their legs are amputated and all that. And you're like, well, you would think that their legs are amputated from the war. But actually, it's not from the war. You want to know what it's from? It's from the most common thing that's around right now. And it's called type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, whatever you want to say. If you want to say insulin resistance, we're going to talk about insulin, diabetes, and all that. Insulin resistance is the cause of all diabetes, erectile dysfunction, PCOS, all of that stuff. But here's the thing. Who's ever gone to the doctor and gotten their hemoglobin A1C checked? Have you ever gone to the doctor and you've gotten your hemoglobin A1C checked before? Put a me in the chat, or put a me in the chat also if you've ever gone to the doctor and they told you that you were anemic. Have you ever gone to the doctor and they told you were anemic? Put a me in the chat as well. Like, yeah, I went to the doctor and they told me that I was anemic. Let me see if I'm gonna try to get this picture over here, right? They told me that I was anemic. Put a me in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got quite a few yeses. Me. Yep. Appreciate the follow. Anemic with unknown reason. Okay. All right. So a lot of people have gone to the doctor and they've been diagnosed as having anemia. What does that mean? Well, let's break it down. This is the most important factor. One of the most important numbers if you are diabetic. So like I said, folks, first part, I'm going to tell you what diabetes is. And then the second part is I'm going to tell you the work that you're going to have to do to bring that number back down. So stick around with me for a little while. Hemoglobin is basically your oxygen. Basically, how you're walking around and breathing right now, that's all due to hemoglobin. How you're walking around, low blood, exactly. Oxygen-rich blood. How much oxygen-rich blood do you have flowing through your veins at any given time? Whenever you breathe, in and out, in and out, in and out, you breathe in and out. That's oxygen-rich blood going to every cell of your body. This stuff's so important, folks, super important. So the word hemo means iron and oxygen. So iron and oxygen-rich blood going through every cell of your body. That's what it means. Every time you breathe. Very, very important stuff. The word globin means protein. So how much iron and oxygen mean carried through every cell of your body by a protein. Sounds pretty important, right? That's because it is. Here's how important it is. It's so important. Somebody said low blood, right? Hemoglobin is so important that if you don't have enough, when they pull your numbers, you don't have enough oxygen-rich blood flowing through your veins, flowing through your body, guess what they'll do? Guess what they'll do? The doctor will give you a blood transfusion because that's how important the stuff is. Okay? Very, very important. A1C is how much sugar was actually stuck to your life force, basically, your oxygen, basically, your oxygen-rich blood, the thing that you breathe in and out, is a lot of sugar that's stuck to it. What percent of sugar is stuck to the hemoglobin? And the higher the percent of sugar is, that number goes anywhere between 4 and 30. It can go lower than 44 in some cases, and it can go higher than 30 in some cases. But it is a percentage. It is a percentage that says how much sugar was stuck to it. What do you mean stuck, Kelley? Well, have you ever gotten some sugar on your hand? Have you ever gotten some candy on your hand and it's like all sticky and nasty? You're like, oh God, this is nasty. And then like you drink a lollipop or have a lollipop or a Jolly Rancher and it gets all on your fingers and it was wet before, then it's nasty. Isn't it? Yeah. Well, I want you to visualize your cells going through the same thing. Your cells, all of your cells, your trillions of cells, I want you to picture all that, the sugar, all the sticky stuff all over it. And it's so annoying, isn't it? Yeah. That is what sugar is doing. And it's done every 3 months. Every 3 months. Why do we get an A1C checked every 3 months? Here's why. It's because that's how long the red blood cells live. They live for 3 months. So that's why you go get a hemoglobin A1C check every 3 months. Because that's how long it takes for them to turn over, to restore themselves and get new blood cells. But the old ones, you can say the old ones were infected by sugar. You can't get it off. Only way you can get it off is you let those blood cells regenerate themselves after 3 months. That's it. That's when your A1C starts to go down. So let's bump it up. Let's bump this up, right? What does it mean? When your percentage, we said that's a percent, gets to 5.7 through a 6.4. What does that mean? Can you tell me what that means when your percent gets to a 5.7 to a 6.4? What does it mean, folks? What do they say when it gets there? Pre, yeah, they say you're good. Somebody said pre, somebody said good. All right. Let's see if we got any other over here. Pre, okay. Pre-diabetes. Pre-diabetes, yeah. Pre-diabetes. Okay, pre. That's what everybody says that it says, pre-diabetes. But what does that mean? I was told it's diabetes, no pre. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Diabetes and pre-diabetes is just a word that we throw around, and I'm going to break that down. Thank you for saying that. So pre-diabetes means that, here's the thing. Here's what pre-diabetes is. Who can tell me what the most important hormone is in the body? Can you tell me what the most important hormone is in your body? Or what do you think is the most important hormone is in the body? There's a lot of important hormones, but there's only one. There's only one. Both cameras. That's the king. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, troll. Which one is the most important? There's some important ones. Which one's the most important? You got cortisol, you got testosterone, you got estrogen. I'm just throwing out some. You got glucagon, you got insulin, you got ghrelin, you got leptin. You got reproductive hormones. You know what I mean? When the juices start flowing, you know what I'm saying? Those kind of hormones. But which one's the most important? There it is. Sonny, I got you. All right, that's it. That's it. Insulin. Insulin is the most important hormone in the body. That's what everybody said. And then that's true. Here's how important insulin is. It's so important that if you don't have it, you won't survive. You won't. Type 1, we got type 1 diabetics on here. Type 1 diabetes means this. It means that you have to manually inject insulin for the rest of your life, or else you will not survive. The reason you have to do that is because you will not survive, because that's how important the hormone is. Now, you can live without some other hormones. You can live without those other hormones. Your quality of life may not be that great. Okay? Might not have the greatest quality of life, but you'll still be around. You'll still be able to hang out with your kids and talk to your spouse or whatever. You'll still be kicking. You'll still have some hemoglobin, some oxygen-rich blood flowing through your veins. But if you don't have insulin, you won't have any more oxygen-rich blood flowing through your veins. That's how important insulin is. So this number is an indicator of how insulin resistant you are becoming. This percentage, the higher the percentage is, says the more insulin resistant you are becoming. So I don't know about you, but if I'm becoming resistant to the most important hormone in the body, I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that that's a good thing at all. I think that I should stop everything that I'm doing. Once I find that out, I should stop everything that I'm doing and I should go address this issue right now. Because yeah. Okay. Let's up the ante a little bit. It's still probably not resonating to some people yet. Okay. So what does it mean when your A1C is a 6.5 or greater? You go to the doctor and they say, listen, ma'am, listen, sir, your A1C is a 6.5. It's a 7, it's an 8, it's a 9, it's a 10, it's 11, it's a 12, it's a 13, it's a 14, it's a 15, it's a 16, it's a 17, 18, 19. What does that mean? What does that mean? My A1C is a 14. But what does it mean, though, when your A1C is a 14? All right. What does it mean? What did they say? Somebody said it. Yeah, that's it. What does it say? What did they say? High numbers. Yeah. 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 Insulin resistance. Yeah. 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 Blood sugar out of control. Yeah. Diabetes. Look, let's go back to pre-diabetes. Pre-diabetes means that you have, we just call it diabetes, pre-diabetes and all that stuff, and diabetes. That's just the term that we use. But the body doesn't know that. All the body knows that is insulin. It's becoming insulin resistant. When you start getting into this number right here, the pre-diabetic range, it means that you're already sick. It means that you're just not real sick yet. That's all it means. You know what I'm saying? So to be a pre-diabetic, it just means you're developing insulin resistance. It just hasn't gotten bad yet. That's all it means. You know what I mean? That's all. It just hasn't gotten bad yet. It starts getting bad when you cross over. When you cross over to, let me put it over here because my marker's going out. I just ordered some new markers. Now this one sucks. My red's out, folks. I got to throw my red away. All right. What are that? Oh, diabetes. Here was I going. Diabetes. That's what it means. It means now, here's what it means. So let's sum all this up. To be a diabetic means this, and I'm going to tell you how to fix it next. To be a diabetic means this. It means that the way that your body processes energy, your metabolism, the way that it processes it, it's destroyed. It's all jacked up. It's like it's malfunctioning. It's just like, it's like it's in panic mode. Your metabolism, your energy is in panic mode. So this is why a lot of the times when you're losing the weight, you ever lost weight and you're like, well, why am I losing all this weight, right? I'm not trying to lose weight, but I'm losing the weight. You know, when you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or type 1, right? You start losing the weight. Well, it's because your body is confused. Your fat cells are confused. It was like, we can't access the energy. So let's just start dumping all of the energy, all of the fat for energy. Let's do that instead. And then that's why you lose the weight. And that's why you hit me up. Hey, Kelley, why am I losing the weight? Well, you're losing the weight is because you're severely insulin resistant. Because insulin resistance says this: the food that you just ate to use for energy, you can't use it. You can't properly use it. So as a result, it's why you're always hungry still. Like, why am I always hungry? I just ate, bro. Like, I just ate, bro. Why am I hungry still? Well, you're hungry still is because your body can't process the energy, because the key to open up your cells to give you energy is locked, basically. Basically, the key to open the door to your cells to give you energy is locked. What's it locked by? It's locked by insulin. Insulin can't get in to unlock the door. So as a result, all of the energy from the food that you just ate stays in your bloodstream. Now you're tired. Now you're tired because you can't get the energy you need. Now you're hungry because your body's like, we need energy. We just ate, but we need energy. Where did it go? You put it in storage. because insulin tells your body to put the food that you just ate immediately into storage. Don't use it right now. Put it into storage. So it's why you're hungry again. It's kind of like going to the grocery store, going grocery shopping. And you go grocery shopping, you get a whole bunch of groceries at the store. And then you come back and you put all the stuff in the pantry and all that stuff. Everything's all put away. Everything's stored. And then you're like, this is what you say, honey, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? You're like, what do you mean what are we have for dinner tonight? Didn't we just go grocery shopping? Didn't we? You'd be like, all right, well, let's just order some takeout. Like, that makes no sense. Literally none. And it's the same thing that's happening with diabetes. When you eat and the food gets immediately stored, you're like, you're hungry again. Let's go get takeout. Diabetes means this, folks. Insulin, the most important hormone in the body. Your body is resistant to the most important hormone in the body. It's why your energy is always jacked up, right? It's why it is. It's why you're always hungry. It's why you always got sugar cravings. Why do you always have sugar cravings? It's because your body is like, give me the quickest form of energy that I can get, which is sugar. Give me some sugar. That's why when people's blood sugar gets low, they're like, oh, give me an orange juice. Give me something with some sugar in it, because they know that it's going to be quick energy, don't they? That's why they do it. Diabetes is what percentage of sugar has been stuck to my hemoglobin. Insulin, most important hormone in the body. Body is resistant to it. A1C is an indicator of what percentage of sugar has been stuck to my hemoglobin. Did we not say what hemoglobin was earlier? Hemoglobin, what did we say it was? Oh, we said it was just your life, only your oxygen. Only your oxygen-rich blood. It's why when you have high A1C numbers, it's why when people pass away from complications of diabetes, here's what it means when people pass away from complications of diabetes. It literally means this, and I'm going to put it in the simplest terms as possible. It literally means this. It means that there was too much, when they passed away like 15, 20 years too soon, like my sister, she passed away. God rest her soul. She passed away 2 years ago tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to make 2 years of the anniversary of my sister, my oldest sister, passing away at the age of 55 years old due to complications from diabetes. And here's what happened to my sister. Her percentage, she had diabetes for like 20 years. Her percentage of sugar, the A1C, got too high, and it stayed that high for many, many years, and a lot of years. And as a result, it ended up choking the life out of my sister, and she passed away at the age of 55. So the sugar literally will choke the life out of you. Literally. Like, I'm not being figurative. I'm not nothing. I'm not. This is why you leave here 20 years too soon, because you literally got the life choked out of you by too much sugar. Folks, that's what it means to be a diabetic. And I don't know about you, but when I found that out, the red flag, it was like panic mode. It was like, I got to do something. I got to do something now. I can't sit back on my hands, because what's going to happen is I'm not going to be able to hang out for much longer. The higher the number is, basically, the faster you're checking out of here. The higher the number is, the faster you're digging a grave with your teeth. That's ideally what it means, folks. And ideally, you want this number to be right here. 4.9, 5.3. That's the target area. 4.9 to 5.3. Now, I'm going to tell you how to get there right now, but I just want to make sure you get a clear understanding of what it means to have a high A1C. It means that what percentage of sugar is glycating? The scientific word is glycation. How much sugar is glycating your hemoglobin? I mean, your A1, your hemoglobin, right? Basically destroying it. It's kind of what happens, folks. Any questions on that? Is there any questions? Was this not clear? Was this not? You can be like, Kelley, that wasn't clear, man. I'm so lost. I'm even more lost now on what diabetes is than before you started, brother. I don't know. So if this is making sense to y'all, put a health yes in the chat. Put a health yes in the chat if this is making sense to you, or if this was like freaking It's something you don't even, I don't know what you're talking about, Kelley. Let's see if this made sense. Or if that says that I need to work on my delivery. I have type 2 diabetes. What do I do normally before I go to bed? What do I do before I die? Before I die, help me. Got you. This is what we're going to do right now. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to talk about how to fix this thing. We're going to talk about how to bring it down. You have an echo. Some people say I do. Some people say I don't. Some I do. Some I don't. Let me bump it down a little bit. You explained it perfectly. Thank you, Rosemary. All right. You're awesome. Thank you, Ann. Yes. It is. Is it possible to reverse it completely? I did. So if I did it, why can't you? That's the question. Type 2 and type 1 are far apart. They are, but they aren't. They are type 1, yeah. Type 1 and type 2, here's the symptom of type 1 and type 2. High blood sugar. That's the symptom. High blood sugar. You're both going to have high blood sugar. But how you got high blood sugar is the only difference. It's the only difference. How you got high blood sugar, if you're type 1 diabetic, is from an autoimmune condition. Probably happened when you were a kid, like 10 months old, a year, 2 months, 5 months, 7 years, 17 years old, 20, 21. Right? But when you're a type 2, it's caused by your diet and lifestyle. It's a lifestyle condition. Type 1 is an autoimmune condition. Type 2 is a lifestyle condition. But here's the thing. With both type 1 and type 2, the idea is to make yourself more insulin sensitive. That's the bottom line. So whether you're type 1 or type 2, the point is you got diabetes. So if you have diabetes, the point is you want to be as insulin sensitive as possible. So you have to manually inject insulin. Let's be sensitive to that. You have to, if your body's producing its own insulin in type 2, yes, let's be sensitive to that. So it's all about being sensitive to the insulin. So it doesn't really matter if you're type 1 or type 2. It's just, how are you managing your lifestyle? What are you doing in your lifestyle? That's the question. So folks, if y'all want to know more about where you stand on this, we're going to talk about how to fix this next. But I want you to register for the quiz. There's a 2-minute quiz that you can take. That link is in my bio. I'm going to show you where it is. Link's in my bio. Take the 2-minute quiz. And then we're going to talk about fixing it right now. Right here, click right here. And then click my picture again. And then you're going to come to the link in my bio. For my folks over here, the link's in my bio as well. If I build more muscle mass, would it help my A1C? Absolutely it will, because muscles are hungry, right? Muscles are extremely hungry. Check this out. Click right here. Share this live out with anybody you know struggling with this condition, folks. Check this and click right here and go take this quiz. Go take this quiz right on here on both sides. Go take this quiz. What are we doing on this quiz right here? The very first one. The very first one, it says the quiz. Go take that quiz. Very first one. And that's what this quiz is going to do, is going to tell you your diabetes management style. It's going to tell you how you've been managing this number. It's going to tell you if you've been doing a great job managing this number, or if you've been doing a horrible job managing this number. Right? That's why a lot of people will refuse to take that quiz. They'll be like, Kelley, I ain't taking that quiz, bro. You crazy? I ain't taking that. Because I don't want to know what I've been doing. I mean, I know what I've been doing, but I don't want the results of this test, the quiz, to tell me. I don't want to, because I want to avoid it. I want to continue to avoid this for as long as I can, Kelley. Is that possible? Well, you can, but yeah, you can't ignore it for a while. Remember what I said? The higher the percentage, the more you remember what I said. So take the quiz, folks. There's a lot of goodies in that link in my bio is Disney World for a diabetic. So if you're suffering from diabetes, insulin resistance, type 1, type 2, whatever, it doesn't matter. Click the link in my bio, register for the quiz, and then the master class. There's a master class on there. It's a free master class. Woo! All you got to pay is attention. You pay attention in the master class. That's all you got to pay. It's absolutely free. 45 minutes, and I'm going to break down the lifestyle medicine formula to defeat type 2 diabetes once and for all. And then there is a 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. What's the reset challenge? Oh, the reset challenge is for people who have gotten to the point where, this is why I have you take the quiz, right? The quiz is going to tell you if you're serious or not about getting rid of diabetes. That's why people ain't going to take it, because they know, most people know that they're not serious about it, right? Because they know that it's going to take work. And here's the work I'm about to tell you right now. So a lot of people are like, well, how do I get off my metformin, Kelley? How do I get off the meds, Kelley? How do I do that? Just go ahead and tell me already. You're taking too long. All right. Here's what we got to do. Number one, lifestyle medicine. It's an often neglected form of healing, but it's the only way you're going to get rid of diabetes. It's a very neglected form of healing. Probably the most neglected, the natural way. But most people ain't going to do it because they're like, yo, that's taking me outside of my comfort zone. It's work I got to do. So here's what you got to do. If you ever have plans and dreams, you ever had goals and dreams and aspirations of ever getting rid of diabetes, here's what you're going to have to do. And you ain't going to like me for it. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like me for it. Right? You're not going to like me for it at all. Hold on. Right? Maintain your PACE. Maintain your pace for optimal health. PACE. Peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. This is the work you're going to have to do. There's 2 pills, folks. Who's ever watched the movie The Matrix? Who's ever watched the movie The Matrix? Say, put me in the chat. Who's ever watched The Matrix? If you've ever watched The Matrix, put a me in the chat. All right, put a me in the chat. If you've ever watched The Matrix. Let's see, who's watched The Matrix? Me, yep. A couple of folks have watched The Matrix. Anybody over here watched The Matrix? Put a me in the chat. You watched The Matrix, right? Here we go. Yep. Me. A lot of people have watched that Matrix. I watched The Matrix. The girl I was dating at the time, it was like one of our first dates. We went to go watch The Matrix. And I was like, I ain't never seen a movie like that before. That's a crazy movie. People stopping bullets and dodging bullets and talking about the one and all kind, Neo and all agents. And yeah. Remember there was 2 pills? You remember the pills from the movie, right? They gave Neo the choice. They said either take the blue pill or the red pill. You remember that? Yeah. And what did Neo take? Neo took the red pill. Because if you take the blue pill, you stay inside of the matrix and you just make it, you just become oblivious to everything. That's what it means to take the blue pill. The red pill is when you get out. Here's what it is. Let's talk about that. The blue pill is this. When you go to the doctor and you get that diagnosis, from the doctor and they say, hey, here's your medication that you got to take now. Take the Manjaro, take the metformins, take all of that stuff. That's you saying, okay, I'm taking the blue pill. I'm going to take the blue pill. I'm going to stay inside of the matrix. And I'm going to continue to take this blue pill until the day that I check out of here. That's going to be my plan. Remember that from the movie? But the red pill, when you took the red pill, it took work, didn't it? It took a lot of work. He had to go fight, like practice with Morpheus and all kinds of stuff. And it was like, Neo said, I know Kung Fu. And then Morpheus said, show me. I'm going to teach you Kung Fu right now. The only way that you're going to get rid of diabetes is you maintain your pace. The P, or the first part of the formula, is this. Peaceful mind. Woo. First part of the lifestyle medicine formula to defeat type 2 diabetes once and for all, or to defeat insulin resistance once and for all, and for my type 1 diabetics to drastically reduce how much insulin you got to use. Better quality of life we're talking about here. Somebody said that they were at 14 and now they can't, type 1 said they can't get past the 9. Well, you hang out with me and I'm going to show you how to get past the 9. Below a 9, sorry. Peaceful mind is very, very important. Cortisol is a freaking monster. It's a monster. Now, here's the thing, folks. I can't prescribe you these meds. You can't, the doctor can't prescribe you these meds. You got to prescribe yourself these meds. Peaceful mind, cortisol is the great equalizer. If you don't have a peaceful mind, cortisol will take over, wreck the whole shop. Stress will wreck everything. What do you mean stress will wreck everything? Here's why. Because stress, cortisol tells your body that you're stressed. When you get stressed, you release adrenaline. And when you release adrenaline, you release the cortisol, and then it's a domino effect after that. It's a domino effect. It's called a fight or flight response. That's what it's called, a fight or flight response. Meaning, your body thinks that you're in danger. It's like danger. You're about to step on a rattlesnake. Danger. There's a shark. Danger. And you go into panic mode. And as a result, you release cortisol, you release adrenaline, and you release stored blood sugar. Stored blood sugar. Why do you do all that stuff? It's because your body is saying we're getting ready for a fight. We're getting ready for a fight. So here's what we got to do. Yeah, I got to give you more energy. And as a result, all of that happens when you release all that extra blood sugar to go into your muscles so that you can get strong to fight off the bear. Now, insulin comes out to try to bring the blood sugar back down. Insulin is like, I need to bring this blood sugar back down. But you're like, well, why is my blood sugar high? I haven't eaten anything. Thank you for the daily heart meat. Isn't blood sugar just about eating? Isn't it just about eating, right? What do I eat? Yeah, that's a part of it. But stress is the great equalizer. And that's why, because cortisol will cause a whole domino effect. And as a result, you could be working out like a savage. You could be eating right. But if you're stressed out, it's all going to cancel each other out. They cancel each other out. Peaceful mind. So what do I recommend? What do I recommend? Who's getting on your, but first answer this question. Find out who's getting on your nerves. Who's getting on your nerves? Is it your mother-in-law getting on your nerves? Is it your spouse getting on your nerves? Is it your kids getting on your nerves? Is it your job, your boss getting on your nerves? Is it the traffic getting on your nerves? Is it the weather getting on your nerves? Because the sun hadn't, you live in Seattle and the sun hadn't shined in like 2 months. Yeah, you ain't seen the sun in 2 months, so it's getting on your nerves in Seattle. Right? Let's see. Then who's getting on your nerves? And once you find that out, I want you to do these 3 things. Here's the first step. Meditation, mindfulness, meet with your therapist. Those are the 3 things that I recommend. Find time to meditate. Find ways to meditate. It could be prayer. It could be listening to soft music, like whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. But meditation, mindfulness, meet with your therapist. Here's the thing about stress. Here's the definition of stress. You can't control what's happening around you. You can't control the weather. You can't control any of that. You can't control what's happening around you. But what you can control is your own thoughts, your own actions, and your own reactions. You can't control anything else around you. You can't control that. You've got power over your mind, and that's it. And the second you realize that, that's where true power comes from. Meditation, mindfulness, meet with your therapist, the 3 M's. Okay, that's the first part of the new medication, the lifestyle medicine formula. The next part of the lifestyle medicine formula is the one that most people dread the most. And that stands for active body. This one right here, they probably, you like, Kelley, you had me at stress. You had me at peaceful mind. But you're talking about being active? No, bruh. Active body. It's been part of our prescription for a long time. We're talking about new medication. We're talking about medication, right? It's been part of our prescription for a long time. But here's the thing. We often fail to cash in on it due to us wanting to stay inside of our comfort zone. You're like, man, Kelley, I actually think that I'm allergic. People actually told me this. I actually think that I'm allergic to exercise, Kelley. Is that possible? Is it possible to be allergic to exercise or to allergic to activity? Is that possible, Kelley? People really ask me that. And I say, no, it's not possible because it's been part of our prescription for like a million years. We just often fail to cash in on it because we want to stay inside of our comfort zone. That's it. That's it. Right. Yeah, it's funny. Uh 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of moderate intensive movement. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of moderate intensive movement. You're like, well, what's moderate intensive movement, Kelley? Here's what that is. An example is if you're on a treadmill, that means that you can talk, but you can't sing. If you're on a treadmill and you can talk right over here, if you're on a treadmill and you can talk, great. But if you can sing, no, no. You singing like Whitney Houston? No, no, no. We need to pick up the pace. That's called moderate intensive movement. Throw you some strength training in there too. A couple of days a week, throw some strength training in there. As somebody asked about muscles earlier. Do I need muscles? Yeah, you need muscles. Muscles are great. The reason that muscles are so great, here's why. The reason that they tell you to go move your body after you eat something, especially like some junk food that you just ate, the reason that people tell you to, and fitness people and all that stuff, I'm a fitness guy, I'm a health coach, so and a nutritionist. The reason that we tell you to do that is because of this. It's because muscles are hungry. Muscles are very hungry. They're so hungry that they can even bypass the insulin. Here's what muscles are hungry for. You're like, what are they hungry for, Kelley? Well, they're hungry for the thing that you have the most of. It's like a match made in heaven. If ever a match made in heaven, it will be moving your body and glucose, high blood sugar. If there were ever a match made in heaven, it will be moving your body and high blood sugar. They will be a match made in heaven. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. Why, Kelley? Why? Because muscles are hungry for glucose. They're very, very hungry. So when you're moving your body after that meal, it's like all of the muscles are like, we need the energy now. We need all of that energy, that extra energy now from the food that you just ate. So let's take that energy from the food that you just ate and immediately uptake it or put it into the cells immediately. Do not pass go. You know how I play Monopoly. Do not collect $200. Don't even go to go. Just immediately put it into the blood. Put it into the take the blood sugar and put it into the muscles. And you want to know what happens at that point? It doesn't even have to get permission. Normally, it has to get permission from insulin to go into the cells. Blood sugar. It has to get permission. But when you're moving your body, it doesn't have to get permission at that point. It just do whatever, it just do what it needs to do. That's it. That's why they tell you to move your body. That's why activity is so important. That's why it's good to get out there and strength train too. So the bigger your muscles get, this is why, the bigger your muscles get, the more muscles you get on, the better your blood sugar control. Think about it. Why? Because muscles are hungry for the very thing that you have the most of. Wow. So that's the A, folks. That's the A. That's the one that people are gonna be like, Kelley, I don't care. I'm allergic to activity, Kelley. Now, if you're allergic to activity, am I telling you to go out and be a world-class athlete? I ain't telling you to go out and be Michael Phelps and win 8 gold medals and 1 Olympics. I ain't telling you to go out and be Usain Bolt and be the fastest man in the world. I'm not telling you to go out and be a power lifter. Am I telling you to go out and be a power lifter? Like you're at the gym, like power lift, like we're powerlifting, like we're deadlifting, we're squatting. Am I telling you to do that? To go be a power lifter? No. I'm telling you to go out 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of moderate intensive movement. It could be any kind of activity. It could be a fun dance. Heck, we're on TikTok right now. It could be a fun dance on TikTok. You can go hang out with your girlfriends and y'all can go back, bring your old times. You remember back in the day when you and your girlfriend, y'all used to go stepping? Y'all used to go stepping. Y'all was in the sorority back in the day and y'all was stepping and all kinds of stuff. That's called that's called activity. Playing with your kids, playing frisbee with your dog, wrestling with your kids, you know what I'm saying? DDT your kids, power drive your kids right off the top rope. Boom. This is activity, folks. Just be active 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And you do that, you'll still get weekends off. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of moderate intensive movement. That means you still get weekends off. Go figure. And then you get all those health benefits, because people who move their body, studies say that they tend to live longer. It's why I'm still here. It's why I'm still here. It's why I'm not kicking it. It's why I'm not in the dirt. It's because those pictures I showed you earlier. It's why I'm not in the dirt. It's why this guy is not in the dirt. Right here, watch. It's why this guy is not in the dirt. It's because I started adopting these lifestyle medicine formulas that I'm teaching you right now. Same stuff that I did, I'm teaching you right now. Same stuff that I did to go from being obese, having diabetes, and having heart disease. Same stuff I'm teaching y'all, but this is the work you're gonna have to do. People are like, well, what's the work? This is the work. This is it. This is the red pill. Remember I said the red pill or the blue pill? Which one are you? Which one are you? Which one are you? You the red pill or you the blue pill? The blue pill means you stay inside of the matrix. You take only the strong take this red pill. The C stands for clean eating. This is the work you're gonna have to do, folks. And then this is the one that people are gonna be like, Kelley, I ain't doing that. Here it is. Here's what I wrote down. I wrote this down so I can read it to you. You don't change by avoiding pain. You change by choosing which pain you're willing to go through. Ooh. You don't change by avoiding pain. You change by choosing which pain you're willing to grow through. That's a better word. Grow through. Because this is going to be painful. This is going to take you outside of your comfort zone. But again, the red pill or the blue pill. Clean eating. We're going to fly through this one because we're going to spend more time on clean eating coming up next. But here's what clean eating is. We're going to talk in the next hour about clean eating, but I'm going to fly through it right now. But it's whole, unprocessed, real food as much as you possibly can. Eat whole, unprocessed foods, real food as much as you possibly can. What's real food? Something that came from a branch, something that was grown, something that came out of the ground, or something that once had dirt on it, or whatever diet you eat, whatever you eat. So I don't tell people what to eat anymore. I don't do that. So whether you're eating chicken, whether you're eating steak, whether you're eating turkey, whether you're eating eggs, whether you're eating what else? Fish. We got tofu, tempeh, whatever. These are the leaner sources of protein, clean sources of protein that I'm talking about. Now, the ones that I'm not talking about are the processed meats, like bacon and salami and hot dogs. Bacon, salami, and hot dogs is not clean eating, folks. Deli meat, bologna. I know you thought your bologna had a first name, but trust me, your bologna does not have a first name. That bologna shouldn't even have a name at all. It should have a name. It should be called crap, C-R-A-P, crap. That should be, what is the name of it? Crap. We'll talk about that as well. So that's what in boudin. Oh yeah, boudin too. Boudin is not clean eating. If you're from Louisiana, my Louisiana folks, I know we love the boudin. I know we do. But that's not clean eating. I know we love the crawfish in Louisiana because it's crawfish season. Whenever crawfish season is out, it ain't crawfish season right now, but whenever it's crawfish season, you like, yo, give me the crawfish, bro. But that's not clean eating though. They call them mud bugs for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Call them mud bugs for a reason. But that's it, folks. Clean eating. We're gonna dive into that. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, beans, leaner sources of protein. Like I said, chicken, turkey, fish, eggs, like salmon, tofu, tempeh, things like that. Right? That's clean eating. And you want to eat in moderation. You want to eat when your body's telling you to eat. It's called intuitive eating. We'll talk about that as well. But the last part of the quadrant, last part. Oh, before I get to that one, these two right here are the most difficult ones. These two right here are the ones that most people won't do. Because why? It takes them outside of their comfort zone. This is the two that they won't do. But if they don't do those, that diabetes that you got, that A1C that you have, if you ever wanted it to go down, it's not. It's because you continue to take the blue pill. The E stands for effective sleep. Effective sleep. Right? You're like, well, what does sleep have to do with anything? Whenever I tell people this, especially when I go to the VA. When I go to the VA, I told you I used to be in the Navy. I was in the Navy for 12 years. And I started telling people about this formula and all that stuff. They were like, well, what's sleep got to do with it? You know what I mean? They'd be like, well, sleep's got everything to do with it. What do you mean? What does it have to do with it? It has everything to do with it. Here's how. If you don't get 6 to 9 hours of effective sleep, I said effective sleep, not just sleep, but effective sleep, 6 to 9 hours, right? Here's what's going to happen. The lack of sleep is a stressor. So if you're not sleeping right, that's a stressor. The very next day, you're going to be more insulin resistant. The very next day. If you don't get a good night of sleep, the very next day, you're going to be more insulin resistant. The very next day, your hormones are going to be out of whack, basically. Because that's when your hormones restore itself. That's when your hormones go back and you get in circadian rhythm and your brain restores itself. Like all of the blood goes to your brain at night. Most of the blood in your body is like circulates to your brain to restore your brain. And that happens when you sleep. So all of your hormones, when you wake up, all of your hormones are balanced. Everything is good. But if you get poor sleep, if you interrupt those cycles of the circadian rhythm with poor sleep, you're going to wake up feeling like trash. You're going to wake up feeling more hungry. You're going to wake up feeling hungry as hell. You ever notice the next day that when you get a poor night of sleep, you wake up the next day feeling hungry? The reason you wake up feeling hungry, folks, is because of this. Poor sleep. That's it. That's it. That's it. 6 to 9 hours of effective sleep. It's when you lose the weight. You ever wonder when you lose weight? You ever notice like those pictures I showed you, right? You want to know how I lost the weight or where the weight went? You ever wondered that when people lose the weight, like where does it go? Does it go out the toilet? Does it go out in your urine? Like where does the weight go? How do you lose the 70 pounds of fat? Like where did it go? Oh yeah, it goes away when you sleep through your CO2. When you breathe out at night when you sleep, that's where the weight goes. That's how it leaves your body. But if you ain't getting sleep, you're going to be hitting me up and like, Kelley, why can't I lose the weight, bro? I'm like, well, how much sleep are you getting? Well, not very much. Well, let's start there. Start there. Poor sleep, very next day, insulin resistant. More insulin resistant. And let's show you how they cancel each other out. I said they cancel each other out, right? Here's how they cancel each other out. Watch this. Check this out. It's the whole maintain your pace formula. Let's go. Last thing before I go to sleep. It's one of the most important ones, but it's the one that people neglect the most. People neglect the E the most because they want to stay up and party and be entertained. So E is the most abandoned one because of entertainment. Entertainment is the reason that a lot of people don't get effective sleep. But here's how they cancel each other out. Watch this. They can cancel each other out just like this. Effective sleep. You thought that if you're not getting effective sleep, here's what's going to happen. It's going to start a domino effect. Watch this. Effective sleep. Poor sleep. It is a stressor. So stress, that's a stressor on the body. Your hormones are all out of whack. Everything's out of whack. So watch this. When you get poor sleep, that causes you to be stressed. I'm going to go on this side. That causes you to be stressed. And if you're stressed, your peaceful mind goes out the window. And you remember what happens when your peaceful mind goes out the window? Oh yeah, your body goes into fight or flight mode, doesn't it? And then when it goes to fight or flight mode, it says, I'm in panic mode. I'm in panic mode. Something's like trying to get me. The bear's trying to bite me, eat me. So release adrenaline. And then when you release adrenaline, now let's release cortisol, the stress hormone. Let's release all of that stuff. And as a result, let's release more blood sugar, stored blood sugar from your liver. Let's release it. Now, where blood sugar goes, insulin follows. So wherever blood sugar goes, insulin has no choice but to follow it, to be high. So all of this to say that if you're working out right, if you're eating like a champ, working out like a savage, like you're working out like you're a world-class athlete, you're eating good. I mean, you're training, you're eating like a world-class athlete. But if you don't have the recovery, if a world-class athlete is not getting their recovery, they're going to suffer. Their performance is going to suffer. Why? Because they ain't getting enough rest and recovery, enough effective sleep. And as a result, they're all stressed the hell out. And when you're stressed out, chronically stressed, that means you chronically have high blood sugar. How do I know this to be true? It's because one of my very first clients, this was when I first became a nutritionist in 2021. In 2021, one of my very first clients was this. Here's what he had. He had what was called Cushing's disease. And if you don't know what Cushing's disease is, it simply means this. It means, or he was a diabetic. He came to me because he was a diabetic, had high blood sugars and all that stuff. But he got it, diabetes from type 2 diabetes from Cushing's disease. You're like, well, what the hell's Cushing's disease, Kelley? It means that your pituitary gland inside of your brain, it has a tumor on it. And when the pituitary gland in your brain has a tumor on it, it causes your body to constantly release cortisol, like constantly release cortisol all the time, right? Due to this tumor on your pituitary gland. And as a result, cortisol, what happens when you release cortisol? Adrenaline comes, and then after adrenaline, what comes? Blood sugar. The blood sugar goes up, stored blood sugar stays high. And then as a result, you get more and more insulin. And over time, the more chronically stressed you are, which cortisol, it's a stress hormone. He had a lot of it. And it caused him to become a diabetic. That, folks, is what I mean when I say that this is your new medication. And when I say that it's always lifestyle first and medication second, when I say that you can take medication until you blue in the face like this pen, do you blue in the face like this pen, the blue pill? You can take medication until you're blue in the face. But when the diet is wrong, medication is of no use. I'm going to put lifestyle in there too. When the diet and lifestyle is all wrong, medication is of no use. But when the diet, that's the blue pill. But when the diet is correct, medication is of no need. The red pill. So I put it in red, right? Look, the red pill. Lifestyle medicine. Only way you're going to get rid of diabetes. Now, if that burst your bubble, I'm sorry. Because this is the work you're going to have to do. Because you thought that you were going to medicate it away. You thought that the Mounjaro and the metformins and all that stuff was going to just poof magically. Because I'm going to just put this to bed right now. People are like, well, what do you think about Mounjaro? And what do you think about all of these medications? I think that it should be lifestyle first. And then if we can't fix it with the lifestyle first, then we could talk about the medication. Then we can talk about it. But until we get the lifestyle right first, I'm going to stutter on this one. Why? We just spinning our wheels. We just on that treadmill like I talked about earlier. Remember that treadmill? Singing and talking? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're just going in circles. And then 5 years from now, here's what's going to happen. We check with you in 5 years from now. We're going to be like, well, what changed? What changed in your status and your diabetes status and your insulin resistance? Like what changed? What is about your A1C and all that? So what changed? And here's what you're going to say. Yeah, the only thing that changes, what you're going to say, the only thing that changed is my prescription. You're going to get so frustrated. You're going to be frustrated, but like, man, I hear it every day. So I know. This is why I'm saying this. I'm not making this up. I hear this literally every day. Man, I'm so frustrated with my doctor because all they do is they just give me the medication. I go in and I tell them I got this and that, and all they do is they just give me more medication. Isn't it so frustrating? Okay. That's frustrating. If you're frustrated by that, then the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue to take the blue pill, which the doctor wants to give you? or you're going to switch things up and go for the red pill. So this is it, folks. Any questions on what you got to do, what the work is that is required to reverse diabetes, to get off the Manjaros, to get off the metformin? Are there any questions that I can steer you wrong and say, Kelley, I'm so still confused about what I got to do. How do I get off the meds, Kelley? Like, I don't know, bro. Did I confuse you, or does it make sense now, or is it even more confusing? Put a health yes in the chat. Oh, a health yes in the chat, or if this makes sense, or if this is still just confusing as hell. Right? I'd seriously like to know. Let's see. I'm finding out that to be true. I've been studying myself. What I eat matters. It makes perfect sense. Can't get off the meds if you type 1. Well, if you're type 1, you cannot get off the insulin. You can get off all the other stuff though. You can make yourself so insulin sensitive that it doesn't even matter. I know when I put this banner up there, I knew type 1 folks were going to come in and say that, right? And I already prepared a response, and here it is. You're still going to have to do the work. If you ever wanted to make yourself more insulin sensitive, where you're relying less on the medication if you're relying on the medication more than you're relying on your lifestyle, if you're a type 1 diabetic, then that's a problem. It's a problem, right? So you're saying follow the PACE formula. I'm saying, what is it? Carmelisha? Yeah. If you want to get off of the meds, you don't have to follow the PACE formula. I'm not saying you got to do this. This is your choice. This is choice time. I'm not saying you got to do anything. But what I am saying is, if you ever wanted to get off the medication, if you ever wanted to reverse diabetes, and if you ever wanted to get off the medication, yeah, you're going to have to maintain your pace. You're going to have to maintain your pace every single day. Now, do you have to be perfect? You don't have to be perfect. It's about what you do most of the time, though. It's about what you do most of the time that matters the most. Just tune in. What do I have to do? That's it right there. It's the work. Awesome. We'll do things. Weight loss through exhaling. How important is your breathing? It's very, very important, right? We talked about that earlier. If you were here for hemoglobin A1C, we talked about oxygen-rich blood. It's very, very important, right? Does taking melatonin or Benadryl help or hurt effective sleep? Hurt. In the masterclass, let me break this down. Let me break this down for y'all. If this doesn't make any sense to y'all, if people are still like, because there's like 600 people on here, 600 something people on here, a lot of people didn't chime in, so maybe a lot of people are still confused. All right, if you're still confused or anything that I just said, check this out. I got you. Most people, a lot of people will say, they won't say if they're confused or not, but I'm gonna try. I try to make it as simple as possible. Here's how I'll make it. So simple. Watch this. Click this picture, click on my picture right here, and then click on my picture again. And then I'm going to get back to your questions. So click on this, and then click on my picture again, and then you're going to come to this. You got to click on my picture again, though, right? You're going to come to this. This is called my bio. This is where the masterclass is. This is where the masterclass is, right here. Look. If this was confusing to you, I try to make things as simple as possible, but sometimes I don't do a great job, right? But if I didn't do a great job on explaining to you what it means to be a diabetic and the work that you have to do, I want you to click right here. And I want you to it's called How to Unlock Your Diabetes Freedom. I called it that for a reason. I strategically called it How to Unlock Your Diabetes Freedom. Because to unlock your diabetes freedom, you don't have to do this. You're gonna have to master this. To unlock you know how you got insulin and the key is locked. I told you the insulin is like the key, right? And it's jammed, it's locked. So the reason I call this masterclass How to Unlock Your Diabetes Freedom is because of that. It's a 45-minute masterclass. It's absolutely free. All you got to pay is attention. In that masterclass, what am I going to do? Break down peaceful mind. I'm going to break down active body, clean eating, effective sleep. right? I'm going to give you tactics and peaceful mind. I'm going to give you more tactics. I just gave you a couple, like the 3 M's. I gave you a couple. And then active body. We're going to talk about active body in the masterclass. It's 45 minutes. It's free, folks. So people were like, well, Kelley, you're a salesman, blah, blah, blah. It's free. All you got to do is pay attention. Clean eating, effective sleep. These are the areas that I covered. Clean eating, I'm going to give you tactics. We're going to talk more about clean eating right now, but I'm giving you tactics in each of these areas. The E, I'm giving you tactics. I'm teaching you the 3-2-1 rule. I'm teaching you about sleep hygiene. Like somebody asked about, Benadryl or melatonin, like which one should you take to go to bed and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't have to take any of that. It should happen naturally. And I'm going to show you how to make it happen naturally in that masterclass. It's called the 3-2-1 rule, right? You'll love it. It's all about your sleep hygiene, right? That's it. So that's what, and you master these areas, folks. Now you're looking back. Look. Temporary defeat versus giving up. Now, that temporary defeat that you had, it could have been 25 years. You had diabetes. It's still temporary. It's still a temporary defeat. It's only permanent when you give up. It's permanent when you give up. Right? So let's not give up. That's it, folks. Any questions on that? Yes. Click the link in my bio. Click the link in my bio. Click the link in my bio for more private conversation. Looks like we're losing, folks. Do me a favor, folks. If they're losing, if they're kicking you out, come over to my other ones. We're live everywhere. We're live everywhere. Ain't hard to find, folks. We're live everywhere. But here we go. Check it out. Sometimes they kick folks out. That's it. The masterclass, the quiz, it's like Disney World for a diabetic, folks. And then finally, the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. What is it? 14 days, 42 meals, all designed by yours truly. All right, all designed by me. What are we doing on this? We're streamlining this. People are asking about the challenge, the 14 days. Spend 14 days with me. When I say that, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Now, there's a lot of people who have accepted the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. With that being said, over a couple hundred people have. What are we doing in here? We're streamlining clean eating. Somebody asked, is the 14 days all about clean eating? Yes, it is all about clean eating for 14 days. We're going to streamline it. It's a blueprint. You follow the blueprint, you're going to get the same results as everybody else. The same results as everybody else, which is lower blood sugar, more insulin sensitive. Like people are waking up with their numbers in perfect in the mid 80s, starting off in the 200. Now they're in the mid 80s every day when they wake up. Come on, man. We got someone who's 80 years old. She's 80 years old. She was just on the live last week. She's 80 years old. And she joined the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. And now her numbers are coming down. And she's 80, folks. 80. Some people are like, well, am I 60 something? Is that old enough? Is it older than 80? I'm 70 something. Is that too old? Is it older than 80? No, I don't think it is. I might be off, but I don't think 70 is older than 80. And she's 80. And she's kicking butt in 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Now, the challenge is only for people who are serious about change. If you're serious about change, no matter how old you are, this is what the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge is about, right? Now, everything is free on my page except for the challenge. Everything's free except for the challenge. I can't give you the challenge for free. The reason I can't give it to you for free is because of this. It's because I give it to you for free, you're not going to value it, and you're going to stop. You're going to stop when things get hard. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. I'm challenging you to step outside of your comfort zone for just 2 weeks. And when you do that, boom, magical things are going to start to happen. I promise you. You've officially taken the red pill, and magical things are going to start to happen. If you want to join the challenge, it's $99 to join the challenge. But if you use the live discount code RESET20, here's the discount code. Ow, I was on there. RESET20. That's the discount code. RESET20. You're going to drop $20 off the price, and it's going to be $79 to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Life-changing stuff in just 14 days. How do I know it works? Because I did it myself and I created it because I was obese, I was a diabetic, and I had heart disease, the triple whammy. Now I'm going to show you how to do the exact same thing that I did. We're just cutting out all the fluff. As you can see from my style that there's no fluff. I don't know how to do fluff. I just know how to teach people how to do what they need to do. That's it. Join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Live discount code is reset20, $79. Join the challenge. Other than that, you can get up all the free stuff. You can get all the free stuff on there on my page. Someone asked, let me see. Let me get back to the questions. Somebody said some questions about heard you were in the Navy. Thank you for your service. Marine here, chronic pain sufferer. Okay, got it, man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to the Marines. Glad I found you. Yeah, glad you're here. I got it. It's simple. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Somebody says, okay, able to sleep 4 hours a night. Well, Johnny, if you're sleeping 4 hours a night, man, we're gonna have to fix that. We're gonna have to find a way to fix that, man. We're gonna have to prioritize your sleep because 4 hours ain't gonna cut it. You know what I mean? 6 hours you can do. We can do 6, but 4 is not enough, boss. Because your body, it's impossible for your body, your hormones to flip over and do whatever they got to do on 4 hours of sleep. It's impossible. Great information. Thank you. I'm taking MBM is sad. MBM, I'm not sure what MBM is. I will be watching the masterclass. Thank you. You're quite welcome. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm limited to exercise. I ride a bike that's automatic for 60 minutes. Is that enough? Yeah, if you're moving your body, yeah. Moving your body's enough. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of moderate intensive movement is what you need in your life. The more the merrier, but yes, you're doing great. You're doing a fantastic job. How much is 2 sugar on a label, right? 3 grams of sugar, 2 grams of sugar or added sugar. That's about the minimum. I mean, that's about the max as you want to go. That's because people are always asking me, well, Kelley, can I have a soda? What about this soda, Kelley? Well, what can I have something other than water? So that's a great point. If you want something that satisfy your sweet tooth, but it's not going to go crazy with the sugar and the added sugar and all that stuff, get yourself like an Olipop or get yourself a Poppy, right? Olipop or Poppy. Yeah, there's a little bit of sugar in it, a little bit of added sugar in it, like 3 grams, 4 grams maybe, but it ain't 77 grams. It ain't 40 grams like a Coke has. Coke has 40 grams. An Olipop has like 3 or 4, 5 maybe. Much better option for your blood sugar. I've been able to reverse my diabetes several times when my physical disability allowed it. So it came up and came back, came up and came back. It said several times. Do you have private consultations? Yeah, click the link in my bio. Everything's there. All of the stuff's there. The quiz is there. The masterclass there. You can book a free call. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can do all kinds of stuff, right? You can take the quiz, and then for my action takers, the 14-day blood sugar reset, you can join the challenge. You can join the challenge, man. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of stuff on my page that you can do. I told you it's like Disney World for a diabetic. You can start looking at all that stuff on that link, and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to take the master class. I don't know if to register for the quiz. I don't know what to. I don't know what to download the PDF. I don't know what to do the challenge. I don't know the book a free call. I don't know what I want to do. So much stuff on here. I'm overwhelmed, Kelley. Why'd you put all this stuff on here? I told you it's like Disney World for a diabetic. Didn't I tell you I was a diabetic? Didn't I tell you I had heart disease? I had heart disease. Didn't I tell you I was obese? So I know exactly where you are. So that's why I designed it Disney World for diabetics. My page, folks, my TikTok channel is like Disney World for a diabetic. The whole channel. That's what it is, Disney World. So when you think of me, think of Disney World. Yeah, I'm also live on YT. There you go. I'm live there. There you go. How can I get off your bio? How can I get to your bio? Oh, yeah, my bio. My bio. Short for biography. Here we go. I'm going to show you how to get there because a lot of people are like, how do I get to my bio? If you're here, if you're on this page, if you're looking at me right now, you're looking at me. Click right up here. You see my picture where it says my name, Kelley Gilberry? Click that picture. Okay? Did you click it? All right, cool. You clicked it. And then there's going to be a picture of me again. Click on the picture, not the words, not the fan club stuff, the actual picture. And then when you do that, you're going to come to something that looks like this. That's the link I'm talking about. The link right there is in my bio. So last time, click right up here. Click on my picture again, not the words, folks, the picture. And you'll get it. If you can't find it from there, I don't know. I can't help you much more than that. Thoughts on ashwagandha? Great. Ashwagandha is great. Cortisol, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. It's great. It's great for managing your stress, managing your cortisol, which ultimately, if you're stressed out, yeah, peaceful mind. Yeah, great. Is the link in the bio class? Is the link in your bio for the class? I'm interested. Yeah, everything's there. Everything's there. The link is, the class is there. The math, the quiz, the challenge for my action takers. The challenges, all the stuff there is for the quiz and the master class. That's just knowledge, right? That's just information. That's just knowledge. It's free information. Take the free information and run with it. But a lot of people can get the information. They're like, Kelley, I got the information, man, but I still don't know like where to start. I'm still confused on that, where to start, man. And if you're still confused on where to start, that is why I created the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Just to give you a little push in the right direction and to show you what can happen in as little as 14 days if you clean up your eating. You clean up your eating. That's all we're doing in the 14-day challenge. Is we're just cleaning up your eating. That's all we're doing. Once we clean that up, you're in there. How do I start the reset challenge? First, you got to click the link in my bio and then go click the link in my bio and then click it again. And then come to this. Come right here. You're going to get here that link, and then you're going to come right here. 14-day challenge right here. Right here. You see it says $99? What's that? $99? But it's not, it is $99. It is if you just go do it right now. If you do $99, if you don't put the discount code in, it'll be $99. But if you put that discount code in, reset 20, then it'll be $79. $20 right off the rip. Just bing. And then 2 weeks later, you're gonna look back at your blood sugar and be like, whoa, that's all I paid was $79, right? So, but again, you don't have to accept the challenge. The reason I put a price on it is because I know that if I give it to you for free, you're not gonna value it, and it's not gonna be that important to you. I want this thing to be so important to you that you're willing to invest $79 for your health. That's why I put it that way. Because there's serious people getting serious results in the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. But again, there's a lot of freebies. There's a lot of everything. Thank you. For diabetes only. Yeah. Well, no, it's not for diabetes only. There's people who have jumped on the 14-day blood sugar reset. It's for blood sugar. But here's the thing. When you fix the blood sugar, you fix everything else. When you fix the blood sugar, you fix everything else. So that weight that you've been struggling with, a lot of people have. When you fix the problem with insulin, everything's going to fall into place. When you fix the problem with blood sugar, everything's going to fall into place. So there's people who've joined the 14-day challenge and they haven't even they had diabetes. What they have is they want to lose some weight. It's not necessarily for weight. That's not how it's built. But as a consequence, as a side effect for you correcting your blood sugar, you are going to have less weight on your body. It's crazy how that works, right? It's crazy because then your energy is starting to balance out. And then your body is starting to use the right fuel. It's starting to use fat for fuel, right? You're not a very good person, huh? Yeah, you tell me. Diabetics need insulin. Well, Torv, if you're a type 1 diabetic, you need insulin. You do. But if you're a type 2 diabetic, you've already got too much. You've already got too much if you're a type 2 diabetic. So you've got enough to go around. You've got enough. If you're a type 2 diabetic and your A1C is really, really high, you've got enough to go around for a lot of people. That's how much insulin that you have. So the idea is to bring it back down to the normal range. That's why I created the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. so that we can reset all that stuff. Please help me. You got a Coco, you got to help yourself first. You got to help yourself first. I can just point you in the right direction, but you got to help yourself first. You got to actually do the work. You got to say that you got to get to that point where you're just so sick and tired about being sick and tired. It takes for people to move in today's world, because we're hardwired this way, it takes hitting rock bottom. It takes hitting rock bottom. Good morning, right? See, blurred vision. It takes hitting rock bottom. What's good for blurred vision is doing the work right here. The lifestyle medicine formula, doing the actual work that it's going to take to bring back your vision. It's not a medication that you can put over the top of it and be like, hey, my medication. No. See, when people move, here's when people move. People move when they hit rock bottom, when they've got no other choice but to move, but to take the red pill, right? Where can you buy the book? You can buy the book everywhere. Everywhere books are sold, you can go get it, right? I ain't hard to find. You can just punch my name into anywhere, you'll find me. But it's on the site here too. It's there as well. But isn't that sad, folks? The only time that we take something serious is when it gets serious. That's I don't get that. Why are we wired that way? Like, why are human beings wired that way that we have to hit rock bottom before we actually move? Can someone answer me that? I'm puzzled. I want to know that. Why does it take hitting rock bottom in our life for us to actually take action? That's the question of the day. I have tingling and numbness in my left hand and numbness in my left foot. I fell one day. Now I'm afraid. Yeah, I would be too. That means your check engine light came on. When that happens, your check engine light has come on. And with that being said, with your check engine light coming on, you're going to have to do something about it. You just can't cover up the check engine light. You got to do something. You got to take the car to Firestone and get it worked on. Okay? That's what you got to do. You got to do the work. The mechanics got to go in and do the work, but the mechanic can't do the work for you. You're going to have to do the work for yourself. On this, you're going to have to work on your car yourself. The mechanic will be the doctor in this say. The mechanic is your doctor. You would normally take your car to your doctor, and they'd be your mechanic, and they tell you, take this medication, take that medication. But if your check engine light comes on in your body, you can take it to the doctor, and they're going to give you these meds and all kind of stuff. But if you really want to turn the check engine light off, you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to do the work yourself. But the question is, does it take rock bottom, hitting rock bottom, for you to actually take action? That's the question. I took the quiz. There you go. Is a good fat for your abdomen? What is a good fat for your abdomen area? Terry, I know what you're getting at, Terry. Terry, I know you asked about Ozempic yesterday. It's about doing the work, Terry. That's it. That's it. It's not about the abdomen. You can't specifically go to the abdomen area. You just gotta have to. You're gonna be able to avoid the work for much longer, right? I know you asked yesterday, why is this Ozempic not working for me? You said, why am I not losing weight in the Ozempic? Well, it's because I know you've been listening to me for a while, and I know that you're gonna have to do the work. I've been saying this for a while. You're gonna have to do that work, and the more you avoid it, I told you. When the diet is wrong, medication is of no use. It's not. It's not. When the diet is wrong, diet and lifestyle are wrong. It's of no use. But when the diet and lifestyle are correct, it's of no need. The second you realize that, that's how you get rid of that abdomen fat. You know what I mean? That's how you realize. That's how you realize that you got to do the work. Preach the industry doesn't want us to exercise, eat clean, and meditate, pray, live in peace. That's it. That's what you're going to have to do. That's what you're going to have to do. That's called the work. That's me. Yeah. But it's saying link tree. Yeah, click the link tree. That's it. It says link tree. That's it. You got to click it. It's a tree. It's a tree. Look, there's a whole bunch of links on there. That's why it's called Linktree. There's a whole bunch of links on there. See those links? There's a whole bunch of them. And it kind of looks like a tree. It's a link tree. Yeah, click that button. That's it. We weren't home trained to be optimistic and shoot for our dreams. You're right. That's it. I got a quote on that. I got a quote on that, right? Yeah, every day. Here it is right here. Thank you for saying that. Every morning, appreciate you saying that. Every morning you have two choices. Either continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them. That's it. Every morning you got two choices. Like this morning when you woke up, you had two choices. You can either sleep with your dreams, or you can wake up and you can chase them. That's it. That's it. This is chasing your dreams right here. Whatever it is that you got to do, whatever it is that you got to do to get off the meds, that's what you got to do. How to get the $20 off? Right here. Hit the reset 20. Hit that password in. That password is reset 20, or the not password. What's the word? Discount code. That's the word I'm looking for. Hit the discount code. Hit that save 20. You're gonna get there. What's up, Sheila? Newbie here. What's up? I'm super low on my potassium. My body won't absorb it. It's messing with my vitals. Yeah, potassium is very, very, very important. Are you getting any outside potassium, right? Are you replenishing your electrolytes? Get you some electrolytes. So get you some magnesium, some potassium, and some sodium. All right? Yeah. Got it. Leafy greens. Start getting some leafy greens. Avocados. Avocados are great for potassium, right? Put more vegetables in your more vegetables in your life. We're gonna talk about that. And clean eating. Clean eating is coming up next. Reset 20. That's the code. Yeah, that's it, Duncan. J. Duncan. How do I get the plan? How can I get the plan? You click right up here. And then you click on my picture again. Click on my picture again, right? You got to click on my picture twice. So here, and then you got to come to the tree, the link tree. Click on that link in my bio, and then that is how you join. But you use that live discount code, SAVE20, or you can take the quiz, the masterclass, totally up to you. How can I get the plan? Yup. I'm really just starting to diet. Yeah. Great, Terry. Great. Now put in that work. That's it. It's gonna be hard. I'm telling you. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be an uphill battle. It's gonna be an uphill battle. But you're built for it, right? You're built for it. I know you can do it. I know you can do it, because I know you were asking a lot of questions about Ozempic and all that stuff, but I'm telling you, that's not the answer. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. For avoidance isn't protection. It's surrender. That's when you avoid doing the work. That's what you're doing. You think you're protecting. We think we're protecting ourselves, but we're not protecting ourselves. We're just surrendering to it. We're surrendering to high blood sugar. We're surrendering to diabetes. Let's not do that, folks. All right, that's it. We're getting close to it's 9 o'clock hour. We're going to talk about clean eating right now. Who's ready to talk about clean eating? Now that we know what to do, the work that we're going to have to do, let's dive a little bit deeper into what it means for clean eating. So save all your eating question, folks. We're getting ready to talk about a fun topic, clean eating. No questions, no more questions on that, on the work that you have to do to ever have dreams of getting rid of diabetes. Your new medication. That is your new medication, folks. I can't prescribe this. The doctor can't prescribe this. Only person that can prescribe this medication is you, folks. Is you on both cameras over here. Only person that can is you. Only person that can turn that check engine light off is you. But I know that it takes hitting rock bottom for us to turn that light off, which is a sad statement. I hate hearing that. I hate that we're wired that way, man. I hate that it takes for us to have to be threatened with more insulin or an amputation. I hate that it comes to that, to hitting rock bottom for us to actually take ownership. Like take ownership and take responsibility. That's I hate that we're wired like that. I really do. I wish I can go back and like rechange everything. Like Human beings are the only species that do this, right? You realize that. Human beings are the only species that don't live up to their max potential. It's the only one. There's a lot of species, there's a lot of life forms, but human beings are the only species that just, that's it. We don't want to change because we want to get outside of our comfort zone. Human beings are the only life form that don't live up to their max potential. Why? Because of choice. We got the dignity to choose. That's why. The D, it's not made for us. The D, it's not made for us. I'm not sure what you mean by that one. All right, here we go. Clean eating, folks. I'm going to put a different one. The clean eating plate. Clean eating plate, folks. What the heck's the clean eating plate? Well, the clean eating plate goes like this. Who enjoys, whenever they say you got to lose some weight, whenever they say you got to lose like 50 pounds, you got to do that, but we got to need you to count your calories. We need all that stuff. Give me the coupon right here. Save 20. I got to put it right up here. Save 20. Sammy, put that in one word. Save 20. Save 20. It'll knock 20 bucks off the price. Back to clean eating. They're talking about the 14-day challenge. What's the code? The code is it's reset 20. Sorry, reset 20. Here we go. Who hates counting calories? When they say, listen, we need you to count the calories. We need you to weigh the food to lose this weight. But to do that, the only way that you're going to do it is if we're going to have to weigh this food, man, we're going to have to count these calories. Who hates doing that? Put a me in the chat. Put a me in the chat if you hate doing that. Or if you strongly dislike it. Let me say that. Let me get some water. While y'all putting that in the chat, let me get some water. Put a me in the chat, folks. Any me in the chat? No? Okay. Everybody loves it. Okay. That's a first. Everybody loves counting calories on this. That is a first. Maybe we don't need to do clean eating then. Maybe we should skip over this. Y'all want to skip over clean eating because it looks like everybody enjoys counting calories. So I don't know. We're kind of the roadblock here. Okay, so no clean eating. All right. What else y'all want to talk about then? No, you don't want to talk about clean eating. What do y'all want to talk about then? What do y'all want to talk about then? Any other suggestions? All right. Any other suggestions? Because obviously people don't want to know about clean eating. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do in Linktree because I'm saying I'm open to business. I'm a lose. What? When you click on the Linktree, everything's going to be there. I don't know what to do in Linktree. You click on the buttons. That's what you do. You click on everything. You click on everything. But if you can't find it, Coco, just send me a DM. I'll walk you through it. We'll walk you through. We'll walk you through after the call. If you're struggling, don't worry. We'll walk you through after the call. So don't worry. If anybody's struggling and they can't find the link in my bio, we'll walk you through after this live is over with at 11 a.m. Just send me a DM and then I got you. Don't worry. So don't stress yourself out. Remember we talked about stress, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. We need clean eating. Yeah. Okay. Clean eating. All right. Talk about clean eating. All right. I was curious because most people was like, they didn't want to hear about it. Nobody chimed in. All right, cool. Clean eating. I was like, this is a first. All right. Clean eating. I'm going to put some percentages over here. 50%, 25%, 25%. All right. What am I talking about here? What are we talking about here? The coupon is working. You got to use reset 20. One word. Just one word. One word. I can double check on it, but it should be good to go. I can't check on it because I got the other one over here. But it is working, Sammy. It's one word. Reset 20. I'm sure there's ways, but my foot surgery hurts my whole body. All right. Back to clean eating. Here we go. Back to clean eating. Veggies. What kind of veggies? Non-starchy veggies. Non-starchy veggies. Non-starchy veggies. What the hell are non-starchy veggies? Well, there's a whole list of these things, but I'm going to give you some. Carrots, broccoli, kale, zucchini, spinach, cauliflower, asparagus, all right, onions, mushrooms, bell peppers. Even though people are going to say, I already know what people are going to say. Mushroom, I hear it all the time. Mushrooms are not a vegetable, Kelley. You don't know what you're talking about. All right, mushrooms aren't a veggie. They're a fungus, but I'm going to put them in the veggie category. I'm going to put them in the non-starchy veggie category. So those are the non-starchy veggies. All of the carrots, all of the asparagus, all of the broccoli, all the cabbages, all of the greens, the leafy greens, all of that stuff. Onions, mushrooms, bell peppers, cucumbers, celery. These are all non-starchy veggies. What do I mean by non-starchy veggies? Yes, vegetables, because a lot of things people like, vegetables are literally carbohydrates, Kelley. Yeah, they are. But these are so insignificant on the glycemic index. These things are so low on the glycemic index scale, meaning how quickly something will raise your blood sugar. It's so low that, check it out, it doesn't even really affect your blood sugar because that's how insignificant they are. So those are called non-starchy veggies, right? 25% protein. Let's switch it up a little bit. Protein and fats. What kind of proteins? What kind of fats? Proteins and fats. Lean, we talked about earlier. Remember we talked about the leaner sources of protein, right? So whatever diet you eat, whatever you eat. Let me put my phone on the charger because it's not surviving over here. My phone. Hold on, folks. All right, we're good now. Yeah, we're good. All right, switch it back. All right. Proteins. Whatever diet you eat, right? Doesn't really matter, but just make sure you're eating the leaner sources of protein. Chicken, turkey, things like salmon, things like steak, things like eggs, things like, for my plant-based folks, tofu and tempeh, TVP, texturized vegetable protein, soy curls, things like that. These are leaner sources of proteins. Now, the proteins that I'm not talking about, as we talked about earlier, remember that? The boudins, the sausages, the pepperonis, all of that stuff. All of it. The deli meats, all of that stuff. That's all a product. Those are all processed meats. Now, you don't want those because those are group 1 carcinogens. Those are in a special category called group 1 carcinogens. And you don't want to eat a group 1 carcinogen. You want to stay away from that category as much as you can. So all of the hot dogs and all of that stuff, just avoid that. And when you go to the grocery store, just avoid that section. Like, there's the hot, every time you go to the grocery store, you're like, there's the hot dogs, right? Don't look. There's the bacon, don't look. I know it's going to hurt a lot of people's heart with the bacon. There's the bacon, don't look. The pepperonis, when you eat the pizza, you're like, pepperoni pizza. Give me extra pepperonis. New York style. Give me the New York style pepperoni pizza. Extra pepperonis. Don't do that because those are group 1 carcinogens. Fats, healthy fats, avocados, nuts and seeds, olive oil, coconut oil. Olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. The only 3 oils that are approved: avocado, coconut, and olive. That's it. Extra virgin olive oil, to be more specific. extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado, coconut, and olive. Someone asked about cheese. Cheese goes in the crap category, right? I don't recommend that people do dairy. You can do dairy because here's the most debated subject that there is: politics, religion, and nutrition. That's why I don't tell people what to eat anymore. Now, I don't recommend dairy, but because I'm going to tell you what can happen when you eat dairy. It's a lot of side effects when you eat dairy, right? But you're an adult. You can do whatever the heck you want to do, because I know that's what you're going to do. So if you want to eat dairy, eat dairy. But here's what I will tell you. Dairy and cheese and all that stuff, it's doing you more harm than good. I can tell you that much. I want you to watch this. If you're concerned about dairy, if you want to know more about dairy, I want you to, there's a lecture that you can watch. It's a lecture. It's called Utterly Amazing. And when you watch Utterly Amazing, they're going to give you, the guy, his name's Walter Veith. He's a zoologist. And he's going to tell you what dairy actually is. He's a zoologist, so he studies animals. It's an 80-minute lecture. And by the end of this 80-minute lecture, you're going to be like, what the hell? So, but if you're a fan of dairy, but if you do dairy here, listen, you can do ghee, you can do butter, you can do, Greek yogurt. Those are the ones that you can do. But for overall health, they're not going to raise your blood sugar. But for overall health, you don't want to do dairy. But again, it's your choice. So that's why I don't put dairy in the clean eating category. All right. So we got the fats and proteins. Now the last section is carbs. And then with carbs, I'm going to put fruit as well. I'm going to put fruit as well. Right? Can you repeat that? Can I repeat which part? What's the best milk alternative? We'll get to your questions in a little bit, folks. But we're going to talk about what, better options of milk. So you got the plant milks. But here's the thing about the plant milks. They can be crap too. Those can be trash too. So you want to use the Yuka app. YUKA. Whenever you go get one of those milks, the plant milks, the ones that you want to stay away from and the plant milks are the oat milks. Never drink oat milk, folks. Don't drink oat milk. Don't drink rice milk. If you're suffering from high blood sugar, don't drink oat milk. Don't drink oat milk, and don't drink rice milk. Now, you can use the Yuka app and you can scan the back of the milk, and it will give you a score, and it will tell you if this is a better product. Just choose the one that has the best score when you go to the grocery store. You'll see what I mean when you download that app. Use that app, go to the grocery store, and you start looking at all the different things at the store, and you go specifically, if you go over to the bacon aisle, right? You go to the bacon aisle and you scan the back of the bacon, and it goes ding, and it's going to give you a score. I can guarantee that number is going to be anywhere between 0 and 5. 100 is the max. But when you scan the bacon, it's going to say 0 to 5. Poor. Bad, it's going to say. It's not even going to say poor. It's going to say bad. Almond milk's good, yeah. Almond milk. But again, use the Yuka app because there's some trash almond milks as well. But a rule of thumb is never get oat milk. I don't care what the score is. Never get oat milk, because that's going to raise your blood sugar tremendously. Never get rice milk. It's going to raise your blood sugar real high. What about oatmeal? Oatmeal, thank you for saying that. Now we're on carbs. Carbohydrate, this is the last part of the plate. Carbohydrates and fruit. The reason that you can have whatever kind of carbs you want, basically, is this. Because there's a very specific rule. You see, I put a down arrow over here. I put a down arrow over here for a reason. It's the reason I put the down arrow. The reason I did that is because you can have pretty much whatever kind of carbohydrates that you want. Oatmeal included. But here's the thing. There's a very specific rule when it comes to oatmeal, when it comes to rice, when it comes to pasta, all of that stuff. Very, very specific rule. Potatoes and quinoa and farro, very, very specific rule. You can pretty much have whichever one you want as long as you obey this rule, the 25% rule. Never go higher than 25% on the carbohydrates. You're like, well, what does that mean, Kelley? I mean, you can go down on the carbs, 20%, 15%, 10%, 5%, but you can't go up. You can't go up. What do I mean by that? I'm gonna show you how to make your life so simple. Watch this. Who's ever seen one of these before? Who's ever seen one of these? It's called a clean eating plate, folks. It's called a clean eating plate. Look at that. It's called a clean eating plate. Doesn't that look familiar though? Look at that. I'm gonna pull it down. Look, watch this. Look, doesn't that look familiar? 50%, doesn't that look familiar? 25%, doesn't that look familiar? Doesn't it? 25%, doesn't that look familiar? So when people are going to ask me, well, Kelley, well, what do you mean by 25%? Well, isn't that 25%? That's clear as day. That's what 25% is. Okay, well, Kelley, well, what's 25%? They'll say, well, what's 15%, Kelley? Well, obviously it's less than 25%, so you got to go a little bit less. That's what, give or take, 15%. You can eyeball it at that point. You don't need to go and pull out your calculator and be like, counting my calories and doing all that jazz when you can eyeball it just using your plate. That's how easy you can make your life, man. Because I know human beings want to do three things. We want to avoid pleasure. We want to avoid pain and run towards pleasure. That's built into our DNA. Built into our DNA to avoid pain and run towards pleasure. And it's painful to count calories, isn't it? It's painful to weigh your food, isn't it? It's painful. That's why you don't want to do it. So, okay, well, if you want to avoid pain and run toward pleasure, wouldn't it be more pleasurable if you just go and went and got yourself one of these clean eating plates off of my showcase? If you want one of these, you can go get one off my showcase. Actually, you can get one wherever you want. I'm not the gatekeeper for these plates. You can get these things wherever you want. But the best one that I've seen are the ones in my TikTok showcase. That's the best one that I've seen. Because they're deep. You see how deep they are? Look. And they're bigger. Some of the other plates are so small and they ain't deep at all. You're going to be like, how am I supposed to get full off of that? You're going to be so mad at me. Be like, Kelley, I tried your clean eating plate, man, and I'm always hungry still. I'm like, well, let me see your plate. You bring out a little plate like this big. And it's all quartered out like, where'd you get that plate from, bro? That's why you're hungry. So very specific rule when it comes to that. You can even get so creative with this plate. Check it out. Here's how creative you can get with this plate. You can get so creative where, let's just say one day you come in from work and you're like, honey, listen, today I want instead of 50% veggies, honey, here's what I want today. I want 25% protein. Not 25. I want more protein today because you're in the gym, you're working out. Like you go to the gym and you get swole, right? You want muscles, you need protein, right? Protein. Okay, you need more protein. All right, cool. So instead of doing 50% veggies, this time you can do 50% protein. Isn't that crazy? You can even go 70. Even if you say, I really need a lot of protein, Kelley. Like, oh, okay, great. Well, why don't you go 50 here and then you can go another 25 here. That's 75%. And then you can fill the other part with what you want after that. You can fill it with non-starchy veggies. You can fill it with carbs. But remember, the complex carbohydrates, remember, you can eat whatever kind of carbs you pretty much want, except as long as you don't break the rule of no more than 25%. And again, what's 25%? Oh yeah, let's make it so simple. 25% is just simply this section right here. You see that section right there, folks? That's 25%, right? That's 25%. So when people are like, well, how much should you eat, Kelley? Well, should I eat a cup? Should I eat this, that, whatever? You eat the percent. You eat as much as the plate is deep. You see how deep that plate is? That's how much you eat. So whether that's a cup or whatever it is, however deep the plate is, Don't stack it. Don't be like, oh, you said 25%, Kelley, so I'm going to just use some rice and I'm going to stack all of the rice like this. It's going to be so high. Kind of like on Scooby-Doo. You ever watch Scooby-Doo back in the day? I grew up in the 80s. You ever watch Scooby-Doo back in the day? Whenever they go get a sandwich, him and Shaggy, they go make a sandwich and they have a competition, Scooby and Shaggy, to see who could stack the biggest sandwich. You remember those episodes? Scooby and Shaggy was who could stack the most on their sandwich. You remember that? Yeah. Don't be like Scooby and Shaggy. Okay? I don't know if this is making sense or not. I don't know. I'm just babbling. I don't know. Talking about Scooby-Doo and all kinds of stuff. But if it is making sense to y'all, put a health yes in the chat. You can get the plates from my TikTok shop. You can get them from my shop. But you can get these plates from anywhere. But the best ones that I've seen are the ones in my shop, my showcase, my TikTok showcase. Those are the best ones I've seen because they're the deepest. They're the biggest ones. All the other ones are tiny. They're like trash. You're going to be like, dude, where did you get that little ass plate? No wonder you're always hungry. All right. No wonder you're always hungry. Put a health yes in the chat if this is making sense to y'all. Okay, thank you. So I don't overfill it. Just fill it the depth of the plate. That's it. It's a simple, folks. It's a simple. I try to keep it as simple as possible. You put too good. You put too good, bro. What do you mean I put too good? Health yes. They sell them, or do you sell them in the glass form? Those are straw plates. These are straw plates. The ones in my showcase are straw plates. They're not plastic. They're straw. Much safer option than plastic. Thank you, Panna, saying I'm too good. Thank you. Thank you. I just do what I just express myself. I don't try to impress. I just express. You know what I mean? That's what you should do, folks. You should express, not impress. I express myself. I'm not trying to impress. I'm just expressing. Express, don't impress. Okay, thank you. You're quite welcome. Been doing intermittent fasting for 5 months and went from a full-blown diabetic to a pre-diabetic. You're quite welcome. Thanks, bro. Quite welcome. Yeah, you're making sense. Folks, along the way, like I tell y'all, if you want to learn more about this, clean eating plate, if this is still all confusing to you, you still don't know what to do, we got a 14-day blood sugar reset challenge that we're running right now. 14 days. It's normally $99 to join the challenge. But when you use that live discount code, reset 20, one word, reset 20, you use that. I'm telling you, you're going to drop the price to $79. It is linked in my bio, folks. That is where it is. That's where the quiz is. That's where the masterclass is. That's where all the stuff is, right? All right. But for my people who are like, Kelley, that's great. I'm still confused. I don't know what to do, Greg. That's why I created the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, to clean up all the mess. It's like, okay, you want a blueprint? You want to streamline it? That's how you join the challenge. You're going to get some amazing results. It's called the blood sugar reset challenge, right? 14 days, 42 meals, all designed by me. And at the end of those 42 days, the end of those 42 meals, you're going to look at your blood sugar and you're going to be like, what the hell have I been doing for the last 20 years? You're going to look at your blood sugar and your monitoring and be like, okay, Kelley, well, I've been just hanging out with you for 2 weeks, bro. Like I said, try 14 days with me. You try 14 days with me. I can guarantee if you do the work, I can't do the work for you, though. I can't do it. I can give you the blueprint, but I can't do the work for you. You hang out with me for 14 days, I guarantee your blood sugar won't look the same, because we're doing stuff like this, but we're keeping it even more simpler than this. Is Yucca safe for diabetic? Follow the rule, right? Follow the rule. I told you can have whatever kind you want, but didn't I say you got to follow the rule? Follow the rule. I'm still going strong, Kelley, and I use the Yucca app all the time. There it is, Leslie. Leslie joined the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Are your numbers still in the 80s, Leslie? Is your numbers still in the 80s when you wake up in the morning? Because she spent 14 days with me, and as a result, her blood sugar is no longer the same. She's back in the 80s again. You know what I mean? I told you I'm a big 80s junkie. That's why I try to get people back to their 80s. That's why my goal is to get your blood sugar back into the 80s, because I'm a big 80s junkie. Didn't I just tell you about Scooby-Doo? How I used to love watching Scooby-Doo. And then still to this day, you want to know what I watch still to this day? Like I just watched an episode last night before I went to sleep. You want to know what I watched? Because it reminds me of my childhood in the 80s. I watched an episode of Thundercats. Thundercats. They're on the loose. Thundercats are loose. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Thundercats are loose. That's why my goal is to get your blood sugar back into the 80s. Oh, she said they're in the 70s now. So between 70 and 100 is great. But where did it start, Leslie? Tell them where it is. Tell them where it all started, Leslie, before you joined the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Where did it start? That's what inquiring minds would like to know. Love to watch Thundercats. They're the best. Yeah. Yeah, they are the best. Snarf, snarf. That's it, folks. We're just scratching the surface on this clean eating thing. I'm telling you, it's a lot to clean eating. But this is part one. Any other questions on clean eating? Any other questions? No questions. All right, cool. Let's go to the next part then. All right, no questions on clean eating. Usually I got a lot of questions on clean eating. Yeah, Thundercats are loose. They were in the hundreds, and within 2 weeks, under 100. Yeah, they were in like the high hundreds. Yeah, and now within 2 weeks, now they were boom. Okay, Steph, send me a message. Send me a message, Steph, and then we'll get you in. It went to your email, right? It's probably sitting in your junk. Right? If you ordered a challenge and you don't have it, it's probably in your junk folder, right? We'll get you right. Send me a message and we got you. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll find it in your junk. But the emails are going to come from me. Do I keep taking insulin? That is not, I can't tell you to keep taking your insulin or not taking your insulin. That's between you and your doctor. But here's what I can tell you. I can't tell you this. If you start with me, right? You start with me and you start seeing amazing results, and your number, because it happens all the time. People's numbers start going down, and they start going down like, hey, Kelley, my blood sugar is getting low. My blood sugar, why is my blood sugar low, Kelley? And then that's when I tell them, listen, this is when you got to go have a conversation with your doctor. You got to go have a conversation with your doctor to say, doc, listen, I changed something in my lifestyle. I changed my nutrition. So I'm doing this thing naturally. So as a result, what's happening is my blood sugar is going down naturally. And then check this out. You're giving me the medication too, doc. So that's kind of like something's got to give. Either it's the medication, either I continue to take the medication, or I stop doing the lifestyle medicine, because that's how powerful lifestyle medicine is. That's why a 2-week challenge, people say, I've had diabetes for 20 years, Kelley. And I say, hang out with me for 14 days. Just hang out with me for 14 days and check it out. I don't care how long you had diabetes. We're going to get that blood sugar back to the normal range, just like Leslie did, right? We're going to get it back. If we don't get it to the normal range, we're going to get it dang on close. You're going to still have some more work to do, but we're going to get you close. If it's been way out of whack, we're going to get you real close. If we can't get you there, we're going to get you close. All right. How do I join the challenge? Here we go. Here we go. Leslie, she said, I took myself off the medication and my numbers are great with the new lifestyle. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do, folks. That's all you got to do, just like Leslie did. But it takes, but to do what Leslie did, it takes people hitting rock bottom to actually do it, right? It takes, I told you, I hate the way we're wired. I hate it. I hate the way human beings are wired, because it takes us hitting rock bottom in our life, in our diabetes or whatever, for us to actually get out and go do something about it. And if you want to do something about it, if people are asking, how do you get to the challenge? Here's how you get to the challenge. You click right up here, and then you click on my picture again. All right, you got to click on my picture again, and then you're going to come here. So click right up here, picture again. 2 times you got to press my picture. And then the 3rd time, You press this one right here. Right there. That link. You see that link? It says link tree. That's what it says. It says link tree. That's what it says. But this is the link in my bio. It's a tree. Like all the stuff's there. The quiz, the masterclass, everything. I'm showing both cameras. The quiz, the masterclass. It's easy to find, folks. You should still be able to hear me talk right now. That's where it's called my profile right here. So a lot of people don't know how to get to my profile. But you click the button. People are like, well, I don't know what to do on the link tree. Well, you click a button. That's all you do. Click a button. And it's gonna open for you. And when it opens for you, then boom, there it is. Accept the challenge. Here's where people have accepted the challenge. Now, it's $99 to join the challenge. I told you that was $99 to join the challenge. I can't give you the challenge for free. If I could, I would. But I can't give it to you for free to protect you. The reason I can't give it to you for free is this to protect you. Because if I give it to you for free, you're not going to value it. And the second that it gets hard, the second you say, I don't like eating this food, or I don't want to eat this food, or I don't want to make that food, I don't want to do that, you're going to stop because I gave it to you for free. But if you use the live discount code, there is a live discount code, folks, right here, reset20. One word, reset20. You're joining the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge for $79. Reset 20. Now, if you're still having troubles with that, you're like, I can't find the link, Kelley. I tried, and this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I cannot find this link, Kelley. Okay, great. Just send me a DM, and I got you. DM is direct message. Send me a direct message. Reach out to me some way, somehow, and we'll walk you through the process. So don't worry. That's it. I don't want to take the meds. You don't want to take them. Yeah. You don't want to take them. You're going to have to, have they prescribed you medication? All right. Have they prescribed it? Please. All right, here we go. Please go over the carbs and fruits allowed in clean eating, please. Carbs. Like we just talked, you missed the carb section, but here's the carbs real quick. Any kind of carbs you want, complex carbs, the rice, the pasta, what kind of rice, whatever kind of rice you want. Brown, white, black, wild, whatever. The reason it doesn't matter is because we're obeying a very specific rule. So quinoa, farro, right? These are carbohydrates. These are complex carbohydrates. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, yuca, whatever. These are complex carbohydrates. But the thing is, you want to make sure that you obey the 25% rule. That's it. Fruit, preferably low glycemic index fruit. Preferably low glycemic index fruit. Meaning berries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. Those, Eva. Kiwis. Right, what else? Peaches. You do peaches as well. Those are just some of the fruits that you can use. Preferably the ones you want to stay away from. Like you can have those fruits, but as long as you obey the specific rule, like bananas and pineapples and grapes and all kinds of stuff, I'm going to show you how to eat those with limited impact on your blood sugar. All right. 1, 2, 3. Watch this. 1. Here's how you eat this stuff with limited impact on your blood sugar. Here's how you eat the carbohydrates with limited impact. Watch this. Starchy veggies, number 1. Number 2, proteins and fats. And then number 3 is carbohydrates. So this is the order in which you eat your food. Remember I said about the plate, how you can get it out of my TikTok showcase? Right? How you can get it out of my TikTok showcase? Remember I said that? Here it is. 1, eat section 1 first, which is the starchy veggies. Eat section 1 first. And then eat section 2. That's next. It's just like when you go to a restaurant. You know when you go to a restaurant, what's the first thing that they give you? They bring out the appetizer first, don't they? They bring it out first. The appetizer. Veggies, don't they? The salad. What do you want? The Caesar or you want the house salad? Which one do you want? And you like, I want the house salad. Okay. So they bring out the veggies first, don't they? And then next, what they'll bring out is they'll bring out the fats and the protein, aka the main course. They'll bring out that main course next. They'll come in and like all the waiters are coming out and like you got the steam coming off the and they come out of you like, oh yeah, that's our food. You see people coming out, you're like, oh yeah, here we go, it's our food. And they come out with all the stuff. You're like, yeah, that's our food. 2. So you eat the fats and proteins second. 3 is when you're done eating your meal, right? When you're done eating your meal, right, I'm gonna show y'all. Section 1, you ate section 1, all right? You ate section 1, and then now section 2. Section 2 is next, right? Section 2 is next. It's the main course. And then when you finish the main course, what does the waiters do when you finish that main course? They look over and they be like, oh yeah, they're almost done. And they come out and they ask you a very specific question, don't they, at that restaurant? They'll say, just like this, they'll say, would you like? That's what they'll ask you. Would you like? You'll be like, would I like what? They'll say, would you like to see the dessert menu? Won't they? They'll ask you that. Would you like to see the dessert menu? And you're gonna be like, you can either say yes or no, because it's optional, isn't it? It's optional. And it's the same thing with these carbohydrates and these fruits. Like they're great to have, but they're optionals at the end of the day. They're optional. Why? It's because you don't actually need this section. They're great to have, but you don't actually need it. If you broke your body, if you stripped your body all the way down to it can't be stripped anymore, you stripped it all the way down, here's what's going to happen. You need glucose to survive. Glucose, not carbohydrates. That's what you need. You need glucose, folks, not carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are great to have. It's just like when you water a plant. They're great to have, but you can't give it too much. When you water a plant, I got you. If you're having trouble finding out where the challenge is, just send me a DM. I got it. I'll walk you through it. After the call, I'll give you a call. I'll give you a direct call. Just make sure you put your number on there so we can give you a direct call, so we can call you, and then we can walk you through how to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. So a lot of people having challenges and try to figure out how to join the challenge. But it's just linked in my bio. That's all I can say. Right here or right up here and right up there. But yeah, send me a message, put your number on there, we'll give you a call. So don't worry. So sit back and just enjoy the show for right now. All right. So that's it. The carbs, they bring that out last. Optional. Just like when you water a plant. You give the plant too much water, it dies. You give the plant just the right amount of water, it thrives. It'll thrive. You give the right amount of water and you give it a nutrient-rich soil and give it sunlight. You give it water, you give it nutrient-rich soil, and you give it sunlight. That plant will flourish. And it's the same thing that happens to your body, your cells. If you give your cells the right amount of carbohydrates, it flourishes. It's great. But if you give your cells too much carbohydrates, guess what is going to happen? Whoo! Now you're going to have an overflow. Just like those plant, I told you the plant died, same thing's going to happen to your cells. Their cells are going to start to die off. So because you got too much sugar on it. Remember we talked about hemoglobin earlier? Remember we talked about that? Yeah. That is what's going to happen. Too much blood sugar, too much of it is stuck to your hemoglobin. So that's it, folks. Think of, every time you think of carbohydrates and every time you think of fruit, not so much carbohydrates, but eat carbohydrates last on your plate. But when you think about fruit, folks, specifically, here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about dessert. Every time you think about dessert, every time you think about fruit, I want you to think about dessert. So the question is, would you ever have your dessert before your main course? Would you ever have your dessert before your main course? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't wake up in the morning and eat a birthday cake, would you? Maybe the old me, like this guy, I'm going to tell you, this guy will wake up in the morning and eat birthday cake. Look at that. He'd wake up in the morning and eat some birthday. This guy, normally you wouldn't do this, but this guy right here, he would have woke up in the morning and ate some birthday cake for breakfast. Right? He would have had some sweet potato pie for breakfast. This guy right here. Look at that. He would have had sweet potato pie for breakfast. And look how insecure he is. You want to know how I know he's insecure? Look at where his hands are. He took the picture. Everybody else has their hands on their side. Look where his hands are. They're right in front of his stomach. Why? Because his stomach was ginormous. And he could barely tie his shoe. That guy would have had birthday cake in the morning. So I say that to say, folks, don't have fruit in the morning. Don't have fruit in the morning. It's not a great idea. If you're managing your blood sugar, having fruit, especially on an empty stomach, waking up in the morning and having a banana or having a pineapple for breakfast. Pineapple, banana. Like if you woke up one morning, your breakfast was pineapples, watermelons. Because somebody asked about watermelons. Pineapples, watermelons, bananas, grapes, and mangoes. That's your breakfast this morning. Like what you eat for breakfast this morning? Grapes, pineapples, watermelon, bananas, and mangoes. That was my breakfast. Now you do that. It's not gonna be a great day for you, right? So let's not do that. Breakfast. People are like, well, what do I do for breakfast, Kelley? What do we do for breakfast? Here's what you do for breakfast. Sections 1 and 2 only. What's a good breakfast, Kelley? Sections 1 and 2 only. Something simple like, what do you mean sections 1 and 2? Well, I mean a protein and a fat and some non-starchy veggies. A protein, a fat, non-starchy veggies are going to be your breakfast from here on out. That's called a savory breakfast. A savory breakfast. You're like, well, what's a savory breakfast, Kelley? That's it. Not a sweet breakfast. That's what it means. Not a sweet breakfast. Savory breakfast. So sections 1 and 2. That's it. What do you mean, Kelley? Well, it could be avocado for the fat. It could be the protein. It could be your like chicken, avocado, and broccoli. And broccoli. That could be a good breakfast. Just a savory. Any of those veggies that we named earlier. Those non-starchy veggies. It could be a side salad, but you could do like avocados. You could do nuts and seeds. You could do olive oil, avocado oil. Some people do. Again, I don't recommend dairy, but the people gonna eat dairy anyway. So you want to do Greek yogurt? Okay, great. That's not gonna raise your blood sugar. Some people are like, well, what about Greek yogurt and berries? That's okay breakfast. That's okay snack. That's okay breakfast. But again, for your overall health, I don't necessarily recommend dairy. But as far as for blood sugar control, you can do dairy. Preferably not, but you could. Okay? Because there's a lot of hidden dangers with dairy. You watch that documentary. I'm not going to say it. You just watch that documentary or that lecture. It's called Utterly Amazing. And you're going to be like, wow. I'm utterly amazed. Okay? Utterly amazed. So that's it, folks. That's it. Thank you for the example. What about oats? Oats are, like I said, you wouldn't do section 3 for breakfast. You wouldn't do oatmeal for breakfast. That's in section 3. You're not gonna do section 3 for breakfast. What about eggs? Yeah, eggs are gonna go over here. So you can do eggs. Eggs go in the protein category. So that's part of a savory breakfast. So eggs, you can do like eggs, avocado, and like say like eggs, avocado, and bell peppers, right? Or spinach. You feel what I'm saying? Oats are going to be a no-go in the morning. The reason why is because you're going to spike your blood sugar first thing in the morning with the oats. Unless you're very, very strategic about the oats, there's a ways to eat the oats, but you got to be very, very strategic. But waking up in the morning and eating a bowl of oatmeal with some brown sugar or eating like some cream of wheat. Like, what about cream of wheat, Kelley? Is that good? Hell no. Hell no. right? Bell peppers, onions, ham omelet. I'd avoid the ham, but all right, that works for you. Yeah, that's savory breakfast. Yeah, that's a savory. Porridge in the morning? No porridge. Right? What about corn? Today's corn is not the corn of the past. Today's corn is heavily modified. It's in everywhere. It's hard to avoid, but corn is everywhere. It's not today's corn is not none of the food today is the food that it used to be, right? As far as that. Same thing, still cut oats, it doesn't really matter what kind of oats. It's oats. Still cut or whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Chicken sausage, again, that's a processed meat. I wouldn't do the chicken sausage. Do the boiled eggs? Okay. Chicken sausage, that's a processed meat. It's a group 1 carcinogen. I'd stay away from that. Chicken sausage, right? And sausages, bacon, all of that stuff. I know it's going to hurt a lot of people's hearts, but it kind of is what it is. I can hurt your, I'm not hurting your heart. I'm just telling you it is what it is, right? What counts for 20% of the protein? How many grams? Jago, we went over that, man. You just missed us. You can watch the replay. You can watch the replay. Come back tomorrow, man. We'll go over that. It's a whole big old process in that one, man. So yeah. Why avoid the ham? Because, well, it's especially if you're doing like deli meat ham, stay away from the deli meat ham. Those are group 1 carcinogens. Those have nitrites and nitrates in them. You want to stay away from those because those are synthetic ingredients, man-made ingredients for preservatives and taste and all that stuff to preserve the flavor, to preserve the freshness of it, to get it to not change colors. They put that on the shelf so it can stay on the shelf like that, so it cannot turn gray, right? Those are preservatives that they put in there. So whenever you eat things like ham, that's got a lot of that in it. A lot of that in it. Right? Yeah. If it specifically says nitrite-free deli meat, okay, great. Great. But most of the time, if it doesn't specifically say that on the label, do not get it. Right? Nitrate and nitrate-free. What do you eat for breakfast? Give us. I just gave you the examples, L. Just gave you the examples. A healthy fat and a healthy protein, like chicken, for instance, chicken and veggies, chicken and broccoli with an avocado. So the chicken, okay, protein, avocado, fat, veggies. Broccoli, veggies, non-starchy veggies. That's an example of a breakfast. So basically, whatever you would eat for lunch minus the carbohydrates. We're not doing carbohydrates for breakfast. So there's a whole list of non-starchy veggies. There's a whole list of proteins and fats that you can do. So as long as it's section 1 and 2, it's called a savory breakfast, you can eat whatever you want pretty much. Just stay whichever one of those that you choose from. There's a big list. That's an example of it. Egg white, avocado, broccolini. There you go. Egg white, avocado. See, egg white, she said egg white. Okay, protein. All right. What else? Avocado, fat. Okay, and broccolini. There you go. Over there. Starchy veg, non-starchy veggies. That's an example. That's an example. What gram of sugar should we watch for? Examples: 3 sugars with 2, 3. Again, like I told you before, you want to do as least sugar as possible. Sugar is absolutely not necessary in your body at all. So do the least amount of sugar possible. But people are like, well, Kelley, what about my Dr. Pepper, Kelley? I love Dr. Pepper. I love cherry Coke. Well, if you love cherry Coke and all that stuff, you know that thing's got 40 grams of sugar in 1 can. 40. You're still like, well, Kelley, that doesn't make any sense. Kelley, why should I care about 40 grams of sugar? Well, you should care about 40 grams of sugar because if you do the math, 40 grams of sugar, it's an equation. It's an equation, right? It's what is it? Let's say 40 grams of sugar times 0.24. 40 grams of sugar in 1 Coca-Cola. I'm going to do the math and I'm going to tell you what that means. 40 grams of sugar times 0.24 in 1 Coke, right? In 1 Coke, I'm going to do this, right? Let's check this out. 1 Coke. 9.6. That's what it means. 9.6. I'm going to show you over here. Look, 40 times 0.24. Look, 40 times 0.24. 40 times 0.24 is 9.6. 9.6 what? 9.6 teaspoons of sugar. 9.6 teaspoons of sugar. Basically 10 teaspoons of sugar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just do the math with me. Think about your Coke and think about how much sugar is in it. Here it is, a teaspoon. You take a teaspoon out of your drawer and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.6. Basically 10 teaspoons of sugar that you just gulp down. Refreshing, isn't it? Is it? Well, considering that your body is only supposed to have 1 teaspoon of sugar going through it at any given time, that's all it wants to see, 1 teaspoon. The fact that you just did 10 in that Coca-Cola, in the 12-ounce can, the Coca-Cola, the fact that you just did 10 is not a problem for you. All right? Yeah, I think it is. Your body is going to go in such panic mode whenever you drink that soda like that. It's going to go in panic mode. And then what happens when you drink another one throughout the day? I drank 1 Coke for lunch, and then I had another Coke with dinner. That's 80 grams. That's 20 grams. That's 20 teaspoons of sugar you just had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Teaspoons of sugar you had today. And don't think about all the other stuff you had too, along with all the sugar in it. More and more teaspoons of sugar is accumulated in your bloodstream. And the folks, this is why one of the reasons that we're struggling with diabetes. Is one of them. All right, once or twice a day. I would try to do cherry Coke Zeros. I've been trying. No, Coke Zero is not the option. Coke Zero is not the best. Coke Zero is not what you want. People think that they're being slick. Your body is not silly. You might think that you're being slick, but by drinking the diet and the 0 calorie, but your body is not silly though. It's not silly. It's not silly in this sense. It's very, very intelligent. It knows that you have real cells. Like your body is real. Like all of this stuff that you pinch. You ever see when somebody pinches you? Like, can you pinch me to make sure that this is real? Right? I want to be pinched. Pinch me. That's real. That's how you know it's real. So your body is real. That artificial, that Coke Zero and that Coke Zero and all that stuff, that's artificial stuff. Your body knows the difference. So when you drink, you ever notice that when you drink a Diet Coke, you ever notice that you crave more sugar? If you're addicted to sugar and you try to drink a Diet Coke in replace of it, do you know you're going to crave even more sugar? It's because your body is like, aha, you really thought that I was stupid, right? You really thought that I was really unintelligent? You really thought that I wouldn't know the difference between real sugar and artificial sugar? Your body's laughing at you like, yeah, okay. Give me the real sugar. And that is why you crave more sugar, because your body is, don't underestimate your body. Don't do it. You'll lose. You will lose if you underestimate your body. But all of that stuff, what it does is it just fills your gut microbiome with a whole bunch of artificial stuff. It's not going to it's not going to raise your blood sugar, but it will raise your insulin levels. It will make you more insulin resistant, drinking the Cokes and all of that stuff. The Coke Zeros and all of that. The energy drinks, the 0 calorie energy drinks, all of that stuff. It's crap. So you can, again, people can, I don't tell people what to do anymore. Like you can do whatever you want to do, man. You're an adult. Some people are asking about, well, what about cottage cheese? And why is it okay to have cottage cheese but not milk? I didn't say that. I said dairy. I said milk, dairy is cottage cheese as well. Dairy, whatever. I said that I wouldn't recommend it, but I know people are going to do it anyway. So whether it's cottage cheese or whether it's milk or whatever, just because I'm saying you probably shouldn't be having the milk, if you knew what the milk was, that's not going to stop people from having milk, you know what I'm saying, or having cottage cheese or whatever, or having Greek yogurt. It's not going to stop people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just telling you that I want you to understand the dangers of what it is, what cottage cheese is, and what all that stuff is. But again, I know people are going to do it anyway. So that's why I say do whatever you want. You're an adult. But if you ever want to know dairy, cottage cheese, all that stuff, you want to know about that, you watch that lecture called Utterly Amazing. Utterly Amazing. Udderly, utterly amazing. And you will be utterly amazed by the end of that about what the hell dairy or cheese or whatever you want to say. You will be utterly amazed at the end. Your whole perspective, if you sit down and watch it, your whole perspective on dairy will change. I guarantee it. Because the guy who's doing it is a zoologist. And if you don't know what a zoologist is, it is a person who studies animals. So he knows a thing or two about animals and dairy and protein and all of that, right? The different proteins that are in the dairy. Yeah. Right. I answered all of the diet questions. I watched it and I haven't had dairy since. You want to know what I'm talking about, dairy folks? Watch. Look at this. Leslie said she watched it, that lecture, and she hadn't had dairy since. I'm telling you, if you love dairy, do not watch this. Do not watch this lecture if you are a fan of dairy. If you love milk and cheese, man, don't watch it. Just forget I even said that, okay? And I apologize but I didn't want to ruin that for you, but I'm just keeping it real with you. I'm just letting you know these are the dangers. You can have dairy, have dairy cheese, do it. Knock yourself out. But I just want you to know what it is. Just wanted you to know, zoologist does not study weather. All right, beans. Beans. The great equalizer. The great equalizer. What's the name? It's called Utterly Amazing. Udderly. It's like 80 minutes long. It's wherever you go to watch. You know where you go to watch long form content? It starts with YT. It's got YT in there. You go there and you put in the words. All you got to put in is Utterly Amazing. And that platform that has a bunch of where you watch a long form videos. I can't say it because, it says YT, like, you know what I mean? You put it in right there, Utterly Amazing, and you watch it. It's about an 80-minute lecture. And by the end of that 80-minute lecture, you're probably going to be just like Leslie just said. I haven't had dairy since. Okay? That's where you can watch it. But again, Bob and Sandy, if you're a fan of dairy, man, I'm telling you, don't watch it. Don't watch it. But if you care about your health, you're going to watch it. But if you care about dairy, because a lot of people here's the thing. A lot of people will tell me, they were like, Kelley, I will change my lifestyle, give up everything. But the thing that I'm not giving up is two things that they say they're not going to give up. It's every time. I deal with this every day. They'll say, I'm not giving up bacon and I'm not giving up, cheese. Two things I'm not going to give up, Kelley. I don't care how bad my health is, Kelley. I am not giving up bacon and I am not giving up cheese. I said, all right, cool. Do whatever you want to do. You're an adult. You're an adult. You know what I mean? I'm a health coach. I'm a nutritionist. I can steer you in the right direction, but at the end of the day, it's choice time. It is your choice to do whatever the hell you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Am I right or am I right? You're an adult, right? Am I right or am I right? You can do whatever the hell you want to do. Am I right or am I right? Exactly. Spell it again. Udderly. Utterly. Like the udder from a cow. Udder. Utterly amazing. I thought the same until I watched it. Yeah. Can't find it on YT. You put it utterly. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna spell it up here. You don't have no problem finding it. Damn. What is up with my pen? Here it is. I'm gonna put it over here. Utterly. I'm gonna spell utterly for you guys. Utterly, and then amazing. You know how to spell amazing? You put in Utterly Amazing, UDDER. It's about 80 minutes long. It's a guy giving a lecture named Walter Veith. And you'll find it, trust me. You'll find it. Right? Yeah. So that's it. All right. Back to the great equalizer, though. There's a lot of questions about dairy. Beans, the great equalizer. The last thing, because we're in the last hour. The great equalizer. Here's the thing about, yeah, that's it. Ice meat. That's it. They put it up there for you. That's it. That's how you spell it, folks. Last thing is beans. Beans are resistant starch. Beans are the great equalizers. The great equalizer. What does that mean? What do you mean the great equalizer? I mean, they're resistant starch. They're resistant to, what are they resistant to? They're resistant to, oh yeah, digestion. You can't digest the beans. They're resistant starch. And we were like, well, that doesn't sound good, Kelley, if I can't digest the beans, right? Well, here's how the beans work. These are very, very powerful things. You eat them, they go into your stomach, and then when they go into your stomach, they start, churning up and all that stuff. And then it's supposed to go into your small intestines. It goes into your small intestine. And at that point is where they're supposed to start getting digested and sending it out to other parts, like using the nutrients and all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing about beans. They resist digestion. Like they go through, right? Dry beans. We're talking about dry beans. Navy beans, pinto beans, cannellini beans, red beans, black beans. All right, dry beans, preferably the ones that you want. You can do canned beans, but preferably we're talking about the bean. Like you make a big pot of beans. Let's make a big pot of beans and go crazy with it. What's going to happen is those are resistant starches, and what's going to happen is when you eat those beans, they're going to go all the way through your small intestines, not being digested at all until it gets to your large intestines. And when it gets to your large intestines, the fiber from the beans is going to be eaten. You're like, what the hell's going to eat the fiber, Kelley? Well, what's going to eat the fiber is your gut bacteria. Your gut bacteria are going to eat the fiber. All right. It's going to eat it up. And they're going to be so happy with the fiber from the beans and the fiber from the veggies. Your gut's going to be so happy. That's why they always tell you to have great gut health. The reason they tell you to have great gut health is because your gut is going to be so happy with all of this fiber that you're giving it. Because if you don't give your gut the fiber that it needs, you will start to populate different gut bugs, different bacteria. I say bugs, but I mean bacteria. You've got trillions of bacteria inside of your large intestines. But that population is dependent upon what kind of food you're eating. What kind of food you're eating will determine if you're going to be in great health or if you're going to be in poor health. Great health or poor health. That's what the gut bugs are going to do, right? Does pre or probiotics help with the bugs? They do. So people got to understand a lot of people will ask me, well, Kelley, I take the probiotics, but nothing's happening. Like it doesn't work for me. The probiotics don't work. It's not that they don't work. It's just because you didn't give it the right prebiotic. That's why it's called a prebiotic. What's a prebiotic? Oh yeah, prebiotics are right here. Fiber. Saying prebiotic, saying fiber is another way of saying prebiotic. And people are like, well, what's prebiotics? The simplest way to say it is basically it's just fiber. It lays the foundation, it lays the framework, or it lays the soil. It puts down the good soil so that when you do the probiotics, when you're planting the probiotics, they've got good soil to flourish, the probiotics. But if you don't have good prebiotics, you can be taking probiotics all day. All it's going to do is hurt your stomach. That's all it's going to do, hurt your stomach. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have the right foundation first. It's the same thing, just like the pillars of health: peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. If you don't have all of those stuff, you can take all the medication that you want. You got to have the foundation right. Right? Please tell us what 50, 25, 25 is. We already broke that down for you. We already broke it down. Where were you, Michael Jackson? Were you out moonwalking, Mike, when we were going through this? Come on now, Mike. But now you can catch it on the replay too, boss. You can catch it on the replay. But here's the so beans are the great equalizer. One rule is this: you can't eat beans and rice together. Only rule is you can't eat beans and rice together. People are like, well, why can't I eat beans and rice together? Why? It's because I said beans are a resistant starch. And if you combine it with the rice, if you're insulin resistant, you're basically just throwing out you're basically just nullifying the resistant starch at that point. You're not completely nullifying it, but you're going to wonder, why the hell is my blood sugar going so high all the time? Well, it's because you combine the beans with the rice. If you just do the beans by themselves, or the beans with the veggies, or the beans with the proteins and the fat, what's going to happen is they're resistant starch. Remember that, right? They're resistant starch, so they resist what? Digestion. So if they're resistant digestion, that means they're getting slowly released into your bloodstream. Slowly released into your bloodstream. That's how it works. Slowly release into your bloodstream. But when you combine it with the rice, aka you go to Popeyes and you get the red beans and rice. Yeah, I know Jamaicans love rice and peas, Charlie. But if you love rice and peas, which one do you care more about, though? Do you care more about bringing that blood sugar back into the normal range, or do you care about the taste of that red beans and rice? Because here's what I'm gonna tell you: nothing tastes as good as how being healthy feels. I don't care how good it tastes. Nothing tastes as good as how being healthy feels. Have you ever felt that before? You ever felt how good it feels to be healthy? You ever tasted that? You'd be like, how good does being healthy taste? Whew, tastes so freaking good. The beans and rice, they taste good too. The Popeyes red beans and rice, they taste good too. But which one tastes better? Question you got to ask yourself. I can't answer that question for you. People ask, well, how long does it take to bring down your A1C and all that stuff? The question is, which one tastes better? Which one tastes better? Is it the red beans and rice? Does that taste better? Or does being healthy, does that taste better? Okay? I can't answer these questions for you. I can't answer it for you. You got to answer that yourself. And then here's the thing. You just do the whole thing. You do the whole thing over. Now, this is complicated, right? This is complicated. It can get complicated because we've been talking about clean eating for a while. It can get complicated. And it can get complicated. So that's why people have, this is what I teach. This is advanced stuff. This is what I teach my clients after they finish the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. When you finish the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, let me take this pen off. I can't get it off. I'm struggling. When you finish the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, folks, it goes like this. This is a big old circle. This is how I teach my clients after they finish the 14 days. But everybody goes through the 14 days. It's like, it's inevitable. You got to go through the 14 days. All right, people who work with me long term, listen, everybody goes through the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. And at the end of those 14 days, the challenge, think of the challenge like a boot camp. I was in the Navy. So everybody went to basic training, or we went to boot camp, basic training. And when we went to basic training, everybody learned all the same stuff. We learned the basics. That is why I created the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. In 14 days, I'm going to teach you the basics. I'm going to teach you the basics in 14 days. And then at the end of that, then we can start branching out into this. This is not what we do in the beginning. This is just advanced stuff, right? Advanced stuff, when you get your plate, this is life. This is real life at this point, right? I teach us how to navigate this in real life. But for the 14 days, no. We're not doing any of that. We just streamline it. It's basic. It's boot camp. Question. Blood type eating, is that a thing? I've heard of it. I don't know much about it. I've heard of it, but I don't know. I don't specialize in that. It's the blood type eating, but maybe there is. Maybe I've heard of it, but I don't really know if it's real or not. I don't know. Eating for your specific blood type, possibly, but I don't know. Eating red beans is good for your health without the rice. Yeah. If you're metabolically flexible, here's the thing, folks. If you're metabolically flexible, if you're a person who's not suffering from diabetes, if you're very, very insulin sensitive, you can do red beans and rice. You can do that. You can do rice and beans. But if you're suffering from diabetes and insulin resistance, the one thing that you better not put together is red beans and rice, or rice and beans, or rice and other carbohydrates, rice and potatoes, beans and potatoes. We're not putting that together. No. Where can I get the info on the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge? Right here. I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to walk you through how to get there. Here we go. Y'all ready? Here we go. Walk with me. Walk with me now. Y'all ready to walk with me? Here we go. I'm going to show you how to get there. To the challenge. Right here. Click right up here. And then you're going to click on my picture again. Not the picture, right? So you click on my picture twice. Right here. Boom. Click me. And then there's going to be another picture right there. Boom. It's the same picture, actually. Click on that picture again. And then you're going to come to this. You're going to come to a screen that looks like this. Oh, not like that. Sorry. You're going to come to a screen that looks like this. That's called my profile. If you're new to TikTok, I know a lot of people are new to TikTok. But here's the thing. There's a link right there below my picture. There's my picture again. There's a link. You click it. You still following me? You got me? You following along? And then you'll see a bunch of goodies there. And then the quiz is here. The masterclass is here. That's all free stuff. But for my action takers, for the people who have said they've gotten, they're trying to rewire. They're going to rewire their brain. They're ready to go through this boot camp for their blood sugar. They're ready to put their blood sugar through that boot camp. This is where you do it. Right there. It's the orange one. I'm going to do it last time. Click right up here. Click on my picture again. Click right there. Boom. Accept the challenge right there. It says $99 to join the challenge. But when you use the discount code save 20, I'm sorry, not save 20, reset 20, one word, reset 20, you use that discount code, it'll drop the price to $79. Like, what are the people saying? Like, you've heard from people themselves. You've heard from Leslie, you've heard from Leslie, you've heard from me. Every time I do this live, you hear from somebody different, right? You hear the stories. These are the stories. This is what they did in 14. These are some of the stories, what other people are saying. These are some of the stories. Right? Boom. This is, look, remember I told you about the guy with Cushing's disease? That's him right there, right? George. That's his testimony right there. Right? There's another testimony right there. Boom. From Shelley. Man, there's so many different testimonials. And then again, people are coming on here. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. People are coming on here telling their testimony, hanging out with me for just 2 weeks, and what happened. The miraculous things that happened in just 2 weeks. Because they joined the 14-day blood sugar. They took a chance, and it was the best chance that they ever took. Because nothing tastes as good as how being healthy feels. Nothing tastes that good. Nothing tastes that good. So what's the trial? What's the trial? What do you mean, what's the trial? What if you use brown rice? Again, as long as you maintain the rules that you can do brown rice all day long. Eating by your blood type is very beneficial. Yeah, I don't specialize in that, so I don't know. I can't add much to that because that's not what I specialize in. Right? Yeah, so if you're interested, you want to use the live discount code. The code is only active when I'm live, right? I usually leave it open like another hour after the live. That's about it, because the live, we're ending the live in 45 minutes, folks. So if you want to take advantage of that, if you want to take advantage of the discount, use that live, use it while I'm live. It's reset 20, one word. Thoughts on sweet potatoes? Same thing, right? If you're just joining us, we did the sweet potatoes earlier, but yeah, right here, it's gonna go in this section. This whole thing is complicated, folks. I'm telling you, it's complicated. We just spent a whole hour on there, so we can, But that's it, man. That's it. If you want more on sweet potatoes, if you want more about like this whole section, you can do sweet potatoes. But again, just make sure you follow the rules. Go back and watch the replay. You can watch the replay on anywhere else. I don't think you can watch replays on TikTok, but you can watch replays. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm on all the socials. So you ain't gonna have a problem finding me. Can I eat beans as much as I want? You can, as long as you don't combine them with the rice and the potatoes. Eat beans as much as you want, right? As much as you want, because they're the great equalizer. That's it, folks. That's it. That's clean eating. That's clean eating. We're gonna go on to the next topic, but that's it. I'm telling you, we can spend forever on clean eating. But we're gonna wrap it up because we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes on clean eating. Now let's talk about let me see. Yeah. Change. Here's it. What did I wrote it down. Change starts the moment you're more loyal to your future self than your past self. That's what it is. Change happens when you're more loyal to your future self than your past self. Your past self said you like the way the food tastes. You love the way the food tastes. But your future self is like, yo, my health is more important than how something tastes. Come on, man. I'm supposed to be here I got a responsibility to be here for my kids. Come on, man. I got a responsibility to be here for my spouse. Or I got a responsibility. I got to be responsible. What does it mean? What does responsibility mean? You break the word down. It is your ability to respond. It's your ability to respond. That's what it means to be responsible. And if you've been suffering from diabetes for many years, and nothing has changed, you haven't done anything about it except for just rely on the medication. That's why I said diabetic meds aren't the only way. If you've just been doing that for many years and you're just relying on the medication and hoping and praying that something is going to change, it's not. The only thing that's going to change in the future is your prescription. How do I know that? Like, Kelley, you don't know me. How you know that? Well, I know that because I've been there, because I know this. I know that if nothing changes, nothing changes. Just rewind the last 5 years of your life. What's changed? And what's changed in your status, your diabetes status? What's changed? Just rewind it. Only thing that's changed from 5 years ago, I can guarantee you, I can almost guarantee, if you didn't change anything, the only thing that's changed is you got a stronger prescription. That's the only thing that's changed. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I right? You know, the only thing that has changed in the last 5 years is your prescription. How do I know that? Why? It's because you didn't change anything. And then you mad at the doctor, but like, man, my doctor I'm so frustrated with my doctor, blah, blah, blah. No, don't be frustrated with your doctor. The doctor is just doing their job. The doctor was doing what they're trained to do. What's the doctor trained to do? I'm not a doctor, but I know what they're trained to do. I talk to a lot of doctors. Here's what they're trained to do. They're trained to diagnose you, and then they're trained to give you certain medications based on that diagnosis. That's what they're trained to do. And then when you come back and you're like, listen, doc, this got worse or that got worse. So, okay, so they'll diagnose you as your diabetes has gotten worse. That's what they'll do, diagnose you. And then the next thing that they'll do is they'll do exactly what they're trained to do. And that is to give you a medication. And then that's how the cycle goes. And when the year goes by, here's how long the medication will last. It will last about a year. It'll last about a year because that's about how long it takes for your body to build up a tolerance to that certain medication that you've been doing for. It takes about a year. It'll work good for about a year. And after the year goes away, you're like, man, this medication ain't working no more. It's not working anymore, man. Yeah, that's kind of how it's supposed to do. Because it was only supposed to be for a short period of time. That's it. I would like to try the 14-day diabetes challenge. If you do, click the link in my bio and use that code, reset 20. But a lot of people, they can't find the link. But send me a DM or send me a DM with your number, and I will give you a call. We'll give you a call right after the live, and we'll get you right to make sure you can use the discount code. That's it, folks. That's what the doctors are trained to do. So don't be mad at your doctor. That's all they know. Right? When your check engine light comes on and you take it to the doctor, you take your check engine light, and let's just say you got high blood sugar, your A1C is high. That means your check engine light's on, and you take it to the doctor. It's basically like taking it to Firestone, your car. Take your car to Firestone. They're going to diagnose this, and they're going to give it like a certain medication, and they're going to fix it. The mechanic will at the shop. But in your life, you're the mechanic of your own life. You're the doctor of your own life. You should become your own doctor. You should become your own doctor. All right? Because that's the only way that you're going to get out of it. And if you were mad at your doctor, don't be mad at your doctor. Just any kind of hate and discontent that you got for your doctor right now, just get rid of it. Because it's not their fault. You've got to take extreme ownership. You do. And I know you don't want to hear that. I know you've been like, Kelley, whatever, bro. I ain't taking this. Is the doctor's fault still. It's the doctor's fault my diabetes got worse. Okay. 14-day challenge. A lot of people asking about the 14-day challenge. I'm going to show you how to get there one more time, folks. Well, I'm going to show you many times as it takes. But here it is. Click right up here. Do me a favor, folks. Bebop that screen, man. Let's get this thing to at least 20,000 for the day. 20,000 for the day. I'm talking about bebops, or what do you call it? Hearts. Share this live out with anybody that you know that is struggling. Here we go. 14-day challenge right here. Click this picture right here. Click on my picture again. You got to click on my picture twice right here for the folks who are just new, because a lot of folks don't know where my bio is, but it's right here. And then it's right there again. You got me? 2 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then that's how that's going to take you to a page that looks like this. That's going to take you to a page that looks like this. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm not explaining this right, because a lot of people struggle with finding this thing. All right, it's right there. I know you're on different ones, but it's on my description over as well. I think I'm just not doing a great job explaining it. I don't know. But it says right here, link tree. All right. And then when you click it, this is literally a link tree. 14-day challenge is here. Click it. And you're right there. That's it. That's the only way I can tell you how to get there. I don't know how to tell you how to get there other than that. Other than that, if you still can't figure that out, just send me a DM. DM stands for direct message. Send me a direct message. Just pull my name up and send me, it says message. Send me a message and say, Kelley, I've tried and I cannot find this doggone challenge. I cannot find that link in your bio, no matter how hard I try. Send me a DM. Make sure you put your telephone number on there. We will call you. We will walk you through it. That's it. That's it. If you want to join the 14-day challenge, you use that. It's $99 to join the challenge. But if you use the live discount code reset20, reset20, one word, you're joining the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. It's the live discount code, folks. For $79. All right. That's the reset code. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, no questions. All right, cool. Lots of folks just wanted to know where the challenge was. Okay, great. We got that all taken care of. Hopefully that makes sense. But again, if it doesn't make sense, if it's still this crazy confusing, just send me a DM, direct message with your number, and we'll call you. Right after the call, right after this live, which ends in 35 minutes, by the way. Okay, no questions. All right, on to the next topic then. No next topic. The next topic we want to talk about, since we went, how much time we got? 35 minutes. Next topic is this. It's called the let's play a short game of blood sugar Tetris. We did the roller coaster yesterday. Let's do Tetris today. We're running short on time. The roller coaster. Oh, not the roller coaster. Sorry, Tetris. We did the roller coaster yesterday. Today we're doing Tetris. I'm gonna show you how to play this game called Blood Sugar Tetris. Sorry, Blood Sugar Tetris. I would like to get it. Yeah. Like I said, if you can't find it, if you can't find the link in my bio, just send me a DM with your number. We'll call you. Don't worry. Don't stress yourself out about it. We'll get you. But if you don't send me a DM with your number, we're not gonna be able to get in contact with you. Okay. Blood Sugar Tetris. What does that mean, Kelly? Who's ever played the game of Tetris before? Who's ever played that game? You know that game of Tetris? All right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull it up. The game of Tetris. I'm going to pull it up on my phone right here. Tetris. Y'all have played this game before. Uh-huh. You've seen this before. Look at that. You've seen that before, haven't you? Over here. You've seen that before. You've seen Tetris before, haven't you? Right? You may not have played it before, but you've seen it before. Well, instead of playing the game of Tetris, the regular game of Tetris, we're going to play a game of Blood Sugar Tetris. And here's how it works. Watch this. Check this game out. It's a cool game. You want to win at this game as much as you possibly can. You never want to lose this game. Fats. You never, ever, ever want to lose this game when it comes to your blood sugar. You got protein over here. And then over here, I'm going to put over here, I'm going to put carbs. I'm going to put carbs right there. Appreciate the follow. Here's the thing about Tetris. Got these little blocks down here that you got to fill in. Boom. Just like on Tetris. Watch this. I'm gonna show you. Does that not look the same? Look. Boom. Look. Does that not look the same? Look at that. Tetris. Look at that. The blocks. But here's the thing. Based on the kind of food that you're eating, it's going to tell you how well you're playing this game. For instance, the fats. I'm going to put the fats. There's 3 macronutrients, folks. There's fats, there's proteins, and there's carbohydrates. These are, every time you eat something, it's either going to be either a fat, a protein, or a carbohydrate. Literally, every time you eat something. That's why they're called macronutrients, like big level. And whenever you eat fats, who knows what happens to your blood sugar whenever you eat fat? Can you tell me what happens to your blood sugar whenever you eat fat? Who knows what happens? What happens to your blood sugar? Does it go up? Does it go crazy high? Does it stay the same? Does it drop? Does it go up a little bit? Like, what happens to your blood sugar whenever you eat carbohydrates? Fats. Whenever you eat fats, what happens, folks? Can anybody tell me? What happens to your blood sugar? Any guesses? Goes up a little bit, somebody says. Any guesses over here? What happens to your blood sugar? Nothing. Okay. Somebody said nothing. Up a little bit. Okay, great. All right. Cool. Here, that's what happens. Pretty much nothing happens. That's it. That's the answer. Nothing. Pretty much nothing. So if you've ever played the game of Tetris, right? And level 1, those blocks are coming down so slowly. Those blocks are coming down so slowly that you can move them from left and right. Like, you can play around with it. You can go up, down, all that stuff if you're playing Tetris, because they're coming down so slowly that you've got complete control over it in the game. And you can put them wherever you want. You can put them all the way down at the bottom if you want. But what happens now? What happens when you eat protein? Nothing happens when you eat fat, avocados, nuts and seeds, olive oil, things like that. Single ingredient, no sugar, peanut butter, all that almond butter, just, basic stuff, healthy fats. Nothing happens to your blood sugar. But what happens when you eat protein, folks? Who can tell me what happens to the blood sugar whenever you eat protein? Things like chicken and steak and eggs and all that stuff and protein. What happens to your blood sugar? Can anybody tell me what happens, or what do you think happens to your blood sugar? Oh, somebody said down, drops. We got down, we got drops. We got decreases, we got highs. Drop slowly, not much to make it spike. It goes up. Nothing. All right. Got a lot of different answers. But here's what happens. It does go up. But it doesn't go up by much. So the blocks are coming down a little bit faster. They're a little bit bigger. But it's not like nothing you can't handle. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're eating protein, yeah, they're coming down a little bit faster than the fats. They're raising your blood sugar a little bit more, but it's not nothing. It's not anything crazy. It's not like when you go to a California and you have an earthquake. And when you have an earthquake, and you'll be like, yo, we had an earthquake today. You turn on the news later that night, it's like, hey, did you know that there was an earthquake today? You'd be like, I didn't even know it was an earthquake. Well, the reason you didn't know it was an earthquake until the news told you was because it was so insignificant that you didn't even feel it. You were just still out running. You were running on the street and there was an earthquake and you didn't even know. Because it was so low on the Richter scale that nothing moved and you just kept on running. You were running with your dog. Like, hey, you're and your dog. You're just running. You're and your doggy. Right? So that's what happens when you eat protein. It does raise it a little bit, but it's so low on the Richter scale that it's not even insignificant. Okay. Well, what happens whenever you eat carbohydrates, though? Rice, pasta, lasagna, spaghetti, pizza, bread, potatoes. What happens to your blood sugar then? Oh, Takis, Doritos, hot Cheetos. What happens then, man? Ooh, high. All the good stuff. Yeah, all the good stuff happens at that point. That's all the good stuff. Elevated, spike a lot. There you go, like a rocket. Somebody put the rocket on there, right? It spikes, goes up, it spikes. People are using these words. I'm not using these words. You guys are using these words. You're using like it spikes and goes up, and it's like and people are putting rockets and stuff in the chat. Well, that's kind of what happens whenever you eat carbohydrates, especially when you eat them on an empty stomach. Especially if you don't have fat and protein already in your stomach. If you eat carbohydrates naked, I call them naked carbs. Here's what's going to happen to your blood sugar. These blocks are going to start coming down real quick, real fast. And they're the big blocks too. They're going to come down so fast. There's going to be a lot of them. They're going to come down fast. And it's like your body is like, what? And it's going to come down so fast. Your body's going to be like, what? What's going on here? And then insulin is going to go crazy. Insulin is going to go crazy to try to get all of this carbs, all of this extra energy that you got, all these blocks. It's going to try to get them out. Watch, check this out. I want you to visualize this. We're going to do a visual here. Watch. This is visual. I'm a visual. I like to do visual things. You look at this right here. This is a sugar cube. The sugar cube, right? That's 1 teaspoon of sugar. Remember I told you about all the sodas and stuff earlier? Well, this is 1 teaspoon. This is all that your body wants to see at any given time is 1 teaspoon. That's all it wants to see at any given time is 1 teaspoon. Now, whenever you start flooding your body with like Cokes and all types. Remember I talking about Coke and all of that, Mountain Dews and all that stuff? You start flooding your body with that stuff. So instead of your body having 1 teaspoon of sugar through your whole body, it's all it wants to see is 1 teaspoon. Now you drink that Coke. Now you just put like 10 of these things in there. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Look at all those sugar cubes. You see all those sugar cubes? That's what's floating around in your bloodstream whenever you drink a Coke, right? Especially whenever you drink the big Coke. So it went from 1 to a whole bunch in a very short period of time. And what did you just do in the game? Oh, you do that in the game? Man, you're playing the game all wrong. You are not playing the game right if you're drinking Coke, especially on an empty stomach. You ain't playing the game right. The game is going to be over real quick. And we know what happens. What happens in Tetris, folks? What happens in Tetris when the blocks fill all the way up to the top? When you're playing Tetris and these blocks fill all the way up to the top, can you tell me what happens in the game? If you've ever played the game of Tetris, I don't know, maybe I'm like the only guy who's ever played Tetris, but because I'm an old dude. But what happens in a game of Tetris when those blocks fill all the way to the top? It's over. Game over. You out of here. That's what mommy said. You pass away. Game over. Explode, somebody said. Game over. They're going to play that game over. Yeah, you're right. That's it. That's what's going to happen. Tetris, watch this. Game over. Dun, 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 dun. You're going to see this screen right here. You playing Tetris, you're going to see this screen right here. It's going to say game over. Look at that. Game over. Because the blocks filled all the way to the top. Look at your score right there. Look at your score. You might get a low score. You might get a high score. I don't know. But look at your score. Look at the game. The point is the game's over. But here's the thing, though. In Tetris, you can actually press the reset button and start a new game. Hold on. They're asking me to do a little puzzle. We're talking about Tetris again. They're asking me to do a puzzle. In the game of Tetris, you can press the reset button. You can play another game. Like you lost that level, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try that game again. Reset it. But that's just a game. But in real life, you playing this game of Tetris, there are no restarts. There are none. When they come amputate your toe, you can't restart your toe because the game's over for your toe. When they come amputate your leg, it's game over for your leg. There's no coming back from an amputation from your leg. It's over. So that's the difference between playing the game on the console versus playing that mug in real life. My suggestion was you don't have to. Again, like I said, you guys are adults. You can play the game however you want. But at the end of the day, I just want you to realize that it is a game. But when the game is over in real life, there ain't no coming back from that. There ain't no coming back from when you lose your vision. When you lose your vision, ain't no coming back from that. All right? When you pay the ultimate price, like I told you, my sister who passed away, 55 years. I thought it was it's still fresh. So I thought it was tomorrow. I thought it was tomorrow, but it's actually today. My sister passed away 2 years ago today from complications from diabetes. My sister's game was over at the age of 55 years old. Do I miss my sister dearly? I miss my sister all the time, right? 55 years old. That means she's got like at least, I'm going to say at least 20 more years. She had at least 20 more years or 25 more years of good life. Make it to 80. You make it to 80, okay, great. You get a nice long life at 80. But 55? Nah, bro. How old are you? That's the question. How old are you? And ask yourself, how are you playing that game? Because the game doesn't care how old you are. Because there's kids now at the age of 2 and 3 years old, 2 to 3 years old, that the kids are playing the game all wrong. And then because they've already got diabetes at the age, type 2 diabetes, not type 1, which is an autoimmune condition, type 2 diabetes at the age of 2 or 3 years old. Now, that's not the kids' fault. The kids are 2 and 3 years old. They don't know what's good for them and what's not good for them. Their kids don't know that. But you as the parent, you know that. You know that kid shouldn't be eating no McDonald's. You know that, don't you? Yeah. I'm telling you, folks. I'm giving you a little tough love right now, but this is real life because I don't want you to lose this game. I want you to be a master. I want you to go through all the levels of this game and be like, I beat the game. I want you to say, when you beat the game, this is what we're going to say. You beat the game. You beat the game and all of the credits are coming up. Congratulations, you beat the game. What does that mean for you in beating the game? It means you live a nice, long life, free of diabetes, free of the medication, free of all that stuff, free to play with your kids, free to hang out with the grandkids. You're free to do all that stuff. That's why when you take that masterclass, the 45-minute masterclass is absolutely free, by the way. That's why the name of that masterclass is called Unlock Your Diabetes Freedom. Because you literally got to go unlock it. Unlock your insulin has to work better so that you can unlock the cells so that you can have freedom. Freedom to hang out with your kids. Freedom to have vision, to be able to see. Vision is free, folks. But if your blood sugar is high, you're paying the ultimate, you're paying a lot. You're paying the ultimate price with your vision. So I hope this is making sense for y'all, folks. If this is making sense in the game, put a healthy yes in the game. If you're going to play this game a whole lot better now, you're going to play that game a whole lot better. This game of, I said that it was a game, but actually reality is when the game is over, it's really over in real life. I just want you to make sense. This makes sense to y'all that you guys are going to play the game a whole lot better. Put a me in the chat. Put a health yes in the chat. Put something in the chat that says, I'm going to play this game a whole hell of a lot better now. Or I'm going to continue to stay over here on this side and play the game all wrong until one day I'm up out of here. 20 years too soon. 25, 30 years too soon. I'm up out of here. Kids 2 years old with freaking type 2 diabetes. 2 years old, man. Come on, man. That's crazy. Let me see. New game. 80. Here I come. Yeah, play that new game. If I were you, which I'm not you. If I were you, I'd tear up my old script. I'd take my old script and that life that I was living before, and I'd tear it up. I'd tear that old script up, and I'd live my life totally different. If I were you. But again, I'm not you. You're you. You are you. I'm not you. The doctor's not you. The doctor can't save you. I can't save you. Your kids can't save you. You can't want it for your husband. Like, oh, my husband, I want it for my husband, or I want it for my dad. What the hell does that mean? You want it for your husband, you want it for your dad. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. What do they want, though? What do they want? Do they want to get off of the meds? Do they want a healthier lifestyle, or is that what you want for them? Because if it's what you want for them, it ain't going to work. I'm sorry to tell you. You're just going to be spinning your wheels. You're just going to be an uphill fight the whole time. You're going to be fighting your loved one about their diabetes until the day that they're no longer here. That's what I did. I fought with my sister to the day that she was no longer here. We fought. We literally did about her health. And then one day, she didn't wake up she went to bed and didn't wake up. One day. Today. This day. Today. September 18th, 2023. My sister didn't wake up. So I hope this is making sense to y'all folks. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like, Kelley, that still don't make sense. I'm going to poo-poo this idea you talking. I don't care, Kelley. That still don't make no sense to me, Brad. That ain't registered with me at all, Brad. Like, I'm going to continue to do whatever I want. I'm going to continue to play the game of Tetris however I want. That's what a lot of people still going to say. Again, and I hate that human beings are wired this way. That's what I told you. This is why my sister and I fought. Because it's the way that human beings are wired. We're wired to stay inside of our comfort zone no matter what, until it gets to a point where you've had that day. It's called the day that turns your life around. The day that turns your life around. That's what it's called. And a lot of people won't get to that day. A lot of people won't get to that day. It's called the day that turns their life around. The day that they just get so disgusted with their current health situation and they've hit rock bottom that they say, all right, today is the day that I turn my life around because I've hit rock bottom. But my question is, why does it have to get to that though, man? I don't get it. I rack my brain every single day, and it's like, why are human beings wired like this? Why are we wired like that? We're the only species that's wired like that. Dogs aren't wired like that. Cats aren't wired like that. Trees aren't wired like that. Fish aren't wired like that. Deer, lions, and tigers and bears, they're not wired like that. But why are human beings the only ones that's wired that way? The only way that we'll take change or we'll change or take action is until it hits rock bottom. We hit rock bottom. Why? You want to register for the quiz, folks. You want to register for the masterclass. Here it is. Quiz, because we're getting ready to get out of here in 10 minutes, 12 minutes. You want to use that live discount code, right? Live discount code is reset20. Reset 20 to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. You're joining the challenge for $79. Look, right here. Click right here. Click on my picture again. Appreciate that, Mary. Appreciate that. Click on the picture again. All right. And for my folks over here, the link is in my description. So you click right here. Click on my picture again on TikTok. You got to click on my picture again, though. And then right here, the live discount code. Reset 20. Right, here we go. Here's all the stuff. That link says Linktree. Click it. Boom. There's the quiz. There's the masterclass. Look, quiz right here. Masterclass right here. Those are both free. Only thing you got to pay is attention. That's all you got to pay. And even like I know you've been on, like I know a lot of people have been on live for like 3 hours or something. Maybe you can't even stand the sound of my voice. Maybe you can't even stand the way that I look. Maybe you can't even stand the shirts that I wear, whatever. But that's fine. There's another option for you. If you don't stand, now you can't like the way I hear, nothing. You can actually click this one right here and you can download it. You can download it and read it. There's no excuses, folks. You can download and you can read it. And you can give you the lifestyle medicine formula: peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. The work that you got to do. It's a blueprint, right? But it's a framework, sorry. It's a framework, an easy framework to say, hey, peaceful mind. What do I got to do in peaceful mind? Okay, active body. What do I got to do to be active? Okay, clean eating. What do I got to do in clean eating? Okay, effective sleep. What are the tactics in effective sleep? That's what the masterclass is all about. Register for it, folks. It's free. All you got to pay is attention. And then look, finally, the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. This is for the people. This is for the people who've gotten to the point where change isn't just desired. Like, yo, I don't just desire change, bro. I'm actually ready for change. I've actually had my day. The day to turn my life around. The day that I said, Kelley, enough's enough. You didn't even got to say it to me. You say it to yourself. You look in the mirror and say, today's the day I've had enough. Today is the day. I'm not waiting to hit rock bottom. I'm acting right now. I ain't waiting to hit rock bottom. Because truthfully, that's what it takes for most people. Click right here, accept the challenge, right here. 14 days, 42 meals, all designed by me. That's it right there. 14 days, 42 meals, all designed by me. That is what you get right there. You'll see exactly what you get when you click on it. It says $79. I mean, it says $99, but it's actually $79 if you use that live discount code, reset20. Reset20, one word. All right. That's the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. It is designed for people who they want to actually get their life back. It's the step number one. Step number one, right there. 14 days, hang out with your boy. I got you. So that's why I called this. I said, diabetic meds aren't the only way. As a matter of fact, they're not the way at all. All they're doing is masking your symptoms. That's all it's doing. Because a lot of people like, that's why I haven't had a lot of medication questions on here today, because I'm gonna just keep it real with you and what the medication is doing to you. The medication is masking your symptoms. I told you what the doctor's job is. The doctor's job is to diagnose you, diagnose your symptoms, diagnose all of that. And then when you get the diagnosis, then the next thing is, okay, based on the diagnosis that I just gave them, what medication can I give them to help with this, or to help them do that, or whatever? What medication can I prescribe? And then that's how it goes. And then they say, okay, it's this medication. And then you say, here's your prescription, blah, 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 boom, here you go. Go to the pharmacy and go fill it. Go to the pharmacy and go fill it. All right? That's it. No, the masterclass, you sign up for the masterclass. It's an on-demand masterclass. I've already recorded it. You just got to go watch it. Just like a movie, right? They already pre-recorded the movie, didn't they? When you go watch Superman that just came out, they didn't do that one live. They pre-recorded it and then they put it on the big screen. So it's the same thing with that masterclass. I already pre-recorded it. All you got to go do is watch it. It's 45 minutes. 45 minutes. 14-day reset. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, you did sign up. Got it. You did sign up for the 14-day reset. My apologies. Here's the thing. Couple folks, quite a few folks have signed up for the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Here's the thing. Check your email. Check your spam. Check all that stuff. It's going to be email from me. My name right here. Do a search for my name. Sometimes it goes to spam, and sometimes, because you'll get an email right away as soon as you sign up. So again, if you don't see it in your inbox, check your spam, check what are all the other folders. Just check. It's there. Do a search for my name. But if not, send me a message. But I know it's there. Any other questions? Are there specific times? Nope. All right, cool. Okay, yeah, quite welcome. Yeah, for the folks who sign up for the challenge, go check your email. That's where it is. Do a search for my name. All right. Yeah. Any other questions, folks? No other questions. All right, cool. That's the game of this is I'm live every day, folks. I'm live Monday through Saturday, about 7:15-ish, 7 to 11 a.m. I come on at 7:15. I start setting up at 7, but I come on at 7:15-ish. And at that time, folks, class is in session. So if you missed something today, you can go watch the replay. You can go watch the replay on all the other channels. You can go YT, FB. Just punch my name in. I'm telling you, it ain't hard to find. Click the link in my bio. There's a lot of goodies on there. It's like Disney World for a diabetic. There's the quiz. There's the masterclass. There's the PDF. There's the challenge. There's a book a free call. I mean, there's so much stuff on there that you can do. You can just spend so much time on that link that you can just drive yourself silly. You would drive yourself silly with all the stuff that's on there. You'd be like, man, I feel like a freaking kid in a candy store with all this stuff about diabetes on here, all this information, right? Because like I said, we've been up here for 4 hours. Trust me, we just scratching the surface of it. We can go for a lot more hours just talking about different ways to look at different parts of diabetes, and it's complicated. It can be complicated, but in the 14-day challenge, that's why we simplify it. That's why I was like, take all the complication, all this stuff out and all this complication, and just tell me, Kelley, tell me what do I got to do? When do I got to eat? What do I got to eat? What time do I got to eat? All that stuff. What is it that I got to eat? Give me the blueprint and I'll follow. Because a lot of people are built that way. A lot of people are like, Kelley, I don't know what to do, but if you just give me a blueprint, like I'm ready, I'll follow it. I'll do the blueprint. I just don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. Like if that's where you are, just like everybody else who's joined today, join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Use that discount code RESET, and you're going to get a blueprint to say, I know exactly what to do. All I got to do is follow it. It's what I've been looking for. You said that's what you've been looking for, right? Well, that's what it is. I can guarantee you that. 100%. 100%. Okay. Any other questions? That's it, folks. Throw your last questions in, folks, because we're getting ready to get up out of here. We're getting ready to get up out of here. Any questions? Any questions on anything that we covered today that you might have missed, that you might have said, Kelley, I don't have a good explanation for it. I'm still confused, Kelley. Right? Anything like that? No, nothing. Man, great. All right, so check this out. Check this out. I'm going to leave y'all with a couple parting thoughts. Water intake. 50% of your, just stay hydrated is the thing. Stay hydrated. It says 50, they say, 50% of your body weight. For instance, simple math. Let's just say if you weigh 120 pounds, you divide that by 2 at 60 ounces of water. 60 ounces. If you weigh 120 pounds, 60 ounces of water. If you weigh 200 pounds, you cut that in half, 100 ounces of water. That's kind of like the rule of thumb. Do you have to do that way? No, but you just gotta make sure that you stay kind of in that range. Just make sure you stay hydrated is the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Thoughts on coffee and Splenda? This is the last question I'm going to take. Thoughts on coffee and Splenda? Splenda is an artificial sugar. You want to avoid that at all costs. Stevia, monk fruit, or allulose are the only three that I recommend. Stevia, sweeteners. Stevia, monk fruit, or allulose. Those three. All right. Stevia, monk fruit, allulose. Coffee, wait 60 to 90 minutes when you wake up in the morning. Never wake up in the morning. The first thing you do is grab a cup of coffee. First thing that you should do when you wake up in the morning is go out into the sun. Go out into the sun and let that natural energy, that's natural energy. What that's going to do is going to cause the cortisol. When that light hits your eyes, the light from the sun hits your eyes, it tells your cortisol, get active. Get active, folks. Go give this person energy. Naturally. Right? Naturally. All right? Naturally. And then after it kicks in, it takes about 30 minutes to max out. Let that all cortisol all settle in. And then 60 minutes after you come out of the sun, it can only be like 5 or 10 minutes you go out into the sun, the morning sun. 60 to 90 minutes after that is when you can have your coffee. Not a second beforehand. Not a second before should you be having coffee. Why? It's because you're just throwing off your body's natural energy. You got to give your body a chance to have the natural energy first before you start putting caffeine and all kinds of stuff in there. Let it max out naturally. So that's it, folks. That's my thing on. We'll talk more about coffee another day tomorrow. But in order to have more, this is what I'm gonna leave y'all with. In order to have more, you're gonna have to become more. That's it. In order for you to get off of the meds and have everything that you wanted, here's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to become more. Yeah, go Navy. That's it. I'm gonna say it one more time. In order to have more, you are going to have to become more. Because choices, those choices that we make, it's about the choices that we make every single day. The choices, the lifestyle medicine, peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. Like those letters, how we respond, the choices that we make in those will determine how our life's going to be. So here's what I want to leave y'all with. I want to leave y'all with this. When we're born, we look like our parents. But when we die, we look like our choices.